Pombo and Milliken. Summer edition. Monday, 12 to 3. Talking baseball, basketball, and football with just a little soccer and MMA in the mix. WMLN 91.5, Milton, Boston.
All right, Jason, we're back. Pombo and Milliken, summer episode 3.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
We had taken a little bit of a week break. It was Memorial Day. We deserved it, right? No one can hate on that.
Yeah.
While we were gone, a lot of stuff did happen, though. We took some L's.
We took a few.
So, for anyone who tuned into the last episode of our show, we had, at the time, the Bucks, they were up 2-0 against the Toronto Raptors. What, right?
I think it was
2-1. 2-1, yeah. And we had both agreed, like many people, we weren't alone, that the series was going to be over in 5.
We were mistaked.
You know, it happens.
Yes.
Mistaked. Is that a word?
It is now.
All right, look
That's
at
a
us.
word.
We're mistaked?
Yeah.
I definitely don't think that's a word. Like past tense?
Yeah.
I made a mistake. There we go. Jason Pombo hasn't been in school for a month and he's collapsing. But so since we have been gone, the finals have started, game 1 and 2. Let's start with game 1. Story of the game, Pascal Siakam. Played 40 minutes, 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. For many people, don't watch the regular season. A lot of people believe he's going to be the most improved player. He's going to win the award for the NBA. Did you see this coming out of him when he?
No, I didn't. He's kind of come out of the woodwork here. He was the late first-round pick 3 years ago, 2016. I think he was picked 27th overall. He's been a role player for most of his career in Toronto. And he's took it to a new level in the finals.
Yeah, so in game 1, for people who somehow may have not heard at this point, maybe one of our international listeners.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
It was 100,
Germany.
Yeah, it was 118-109 win for the Raptors. But throughout the game, the big story was Siakam. He averaged about 16 points throughout the regular season, but it disappeared in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Seeing him evolving, Kawhi Leonard had no issue just giving it up to him and let him do his thing.
Yeah, not exactly. Kawhi Leonard has been awesome this series as well. As a superstar, he's been able to dish out to his teammates. If they have the open shot, let them take it. He hasn't been too aggressive. He's been great defensively, offensively, and he's been helping get his players involved.
He's just so long. Legitimately anything. The alley-oop he had in game 2 last night was ridiculous. Just moving up and down the court. But I think, it's great to see a guy like Siakam go and emerge. Marc Gasol on the veteran side of things coming alive, especially in game 1 much more than game 2.
Gasol did not play well game 2, but game 1 he was awesome.
Exactly. I have not seen him move like that in a long time, and you saw the effects of it.
It was his best game as a Raptor.
Yeah. Overall, it wasn't a super eventful game. Steph Curry was the best player for the Warriors. He scored 34, 5 and 5.
Yep.
Solid performance. Game 2 is where the whole series reshapes. So Golden State came out last night. Klay Thompson to start the game was hot.
Yeah.
He still led the Warriors in scoring despite blowing out his hamstring.
Yeah.
With 25 points, I believe. But at this point, 1-1 series, Jason. We've seen Toronto play their best basketball ever in game 1. Warriors seemed good last night, but not at their peak. How are you feeling about this series moving forward?
So going forward, I think it all is going to depend on health. With Klay Thompson being injured, with Kevin Durant being injured, Andre Iguodala was hobbled. Steph Curry was reportedly sick.
Yeah.
This Warriors team is banged up. They had Kevon Looney also go out with the shoulder injury last night. So
they called it a sternum injury, but according to a lot of reports, they were working on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was watching this past game, Iguodala coming back and, he still looks hobbled. He definitely doesn't look healthy, but hitting a couple big shots for them. That was the difference between game 2 and game 1. Game 1, it was really just a Steph Curry show. Klay Thompson didn't play good. Draymond Green got bullied.
He did.
And it was tough for Draymond, who earlier in the week had gone ahead and called himself the best defender of all time.
Yeah. And game 2, he was a lot better.
Yeah, 100%. Siakam only had 12 points. So that says enough on its own. But for the Warriors right now, I don't know. I'm not in a panic state. Quinn Cook went out. Their bench is coming alive, slowly but surely. And that's the difference. Toronto's a deep team. They are. They may not have the top-tier superstar power, but you look at their bench, Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, VanVleet's been awesome.
Oh, my. Since his kid was born,
he's been awesome.
This dude's just hitting 3 after 3, no fear. Golden State hasn't had that over time. And I know Jonas Jerebko, he's starting to figure it out a little bit. He's hitting some big threes for him. But I'm not buying into the narrative right now. It seems like a lot of people just want the Warriors to fall. That doesn't happen to dynasties. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, the Warriors, I picked them to win the series in 5. I think it's probably going to be Warriors in 6 now. I think the Raptors are going to be able to steal a game somewhere. But so far, these first 2 games, these teams have been even. Through 2 games, the Warriors have averaged 117 points a game, and the Raptors 114 points a game. So they're really even on that aspect. Golden State's shot 49% from the field. Toronto has shot 47% from the field. So it's literally been neck and neck.
Yeah, and you even look at a game like last night when Golden State, who went on that crazy third quarter run like they did during the Portland series, and it was 18-0, and no problem came back. Toronto didn't cave in at all. It still was a one-possession game until the final seconds.
Yes.
So that speaks alone. It doesn't matter. Both of these teams can go on crazy runs, and we've seen with Toronto at times they can struggle to score. That's what it was. The game 1, what was the difference? Siakam. It wasn't just Kawhi trying to score points over and over. I think the other thing is Kyle Lowry has to be smarter.
Lowry's got to play better.
Oh, my God. Chasing, he's going getting these fouls. He fouled out last night. He's fouled out throughout the playoffs.
I think 5 minutes left.
Yeah. And in all reality, on defense, he's been a huge help in securing Steph, at least limiting him. There's no such thing as stopping a player of Steph's caliber.
I think Van Fleet's probably been better than Kyle Lowry in terms of
offensive end, or you think defensively as well?
Defensively, I think he's played better, yeah.
I think it's been a mixture of both. I think Lowry's just one of those tough defender guys. He's gritty. We see for scoring games, I think he had 12 points last night.
Yeah.
Usually it's pretty ugly on that end in the playoffs.
Lowry's stat line yesterday, he played 28 minutes before he fouled out. He scored 13 points. He had 2 assists and a rebound. He was a minus 17 for the game, which was I think it was a game worst.
Yeah. That's a tough situation. For Lowry, though, a lot of people do see him as kind of what either makes the team flip that switch or not. If he's on, then Toronto looks like that kind of championship caliber team.
Well, he's been there the longest. He's one of the leaders on that team, and they need him if they want to steal a game from Oracle.
Yeah. Do you feel like they'll be able to win a game there?
I do not. I think the Golden State Warriors are probably going to win the next 2, and then I think I'm going to probably roll with Toronto to win in Game 5.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. Just for Toronto... For Golden State still fighting their motion, I think the layoff was a big reason they lost Game 1.
It'll be close. I think games 3 and 4 are going to be close. But
without a doubt, this isn't a series. No one's going to get washed here. I think it's going to be way more competitive than even a year ago. You could already tell by the first 2 games already. It's just for Golden State, KD's health is still up in the air. Boogie Cousins played very well last night, going from 8 minutes in Game 1, I believe, to 28 minutes in Game 2.
He played 28 minutes, and this was his best game of the year by far. He was a plus 12. He had 11 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He just was awesome on both ends of the court. He passed well, rebounded well. He got a few offensive rebounds, which were really helpful. He was awesome. He might be getting back into shape, getting into mold to the old Boogie Cousins.
Here he was after his Game 2 win and best performance of the year.
DeMarcus, what was your reaction when you got word that you would be starting, and what were the days or hours like leading up to knowing that you're going to get to start?
I was just like, cool. I told Steve coming into this, whatever he needed from me, I was okay with it. If it's coming off the bench, if it's starting, if it's playing, 8 minutes or 40, I'm cool with it, whatever. So, I want to come in and help the team with whatever's needed. And when I step on the floor, I'm going to leave it out there.
That from NBA right there.
NBA.com, yep.
Press conference. Just for DeMarcus Cousins, you could see, no matter what, for a player who throughout his career was kind of quoted as a bad locker room guy, someone who just can't get along, he said he accepts whatever his role is, whether it's 8 minutes or 28 minutes. I think just for him as a player, what's sticking out to me, he's still aggressive, but there's no jump. He is stiff out there on the court, and you can see it. It's his passing ability right now. That's one of the things pushing his game, passing and chasing blocks.
So with Cousins right now, he's in an interesting spot. Obviously, he signed a 1-year deal with the Warriors last year, so he will be a free agent this summer. So what is his market going to be? He's obviously not going to be in line for that max deal, but if he plays well for the next 2 or 3 games, he might be playing himself into a good contract.
I think it'll be a good contract. I'd be extremely worried for whatever team gave him that money, because with a big guy like that and the Achilles injury he suffered before, then the quad, it's just, this is not something I would feel comfortable investing in. I think he's going to fall to a team maybe desperate like the Lakers, something like that kind of situation.
A fallback player.
It's just, he doesn't look like the same player to me, not even in the same realm.
He's definitely not the lateral quickness. Defensively, he still has some lapses. Yeah.
It's pretty obvious. He's slow up and down the court as well. It's just, for what he is, it's the basketball IQ. It's the natural talent.
And for the most part, they've played better without him.
It's been a weird fit just for this, for the Warriors. Even before the season, people were like, is he going to kind of be the piece that slows them down? And he was injured most of the year, so it wasn't a huge conversation. But at this point, it seems like without him in game 2, I don't believe they win.
Probably not.
No, he was kind of just another option. Just give everybody a little bit room. Quentin Cook out there hitting those big threes in the third quarter himself. But I don't know. If I'm the Warriors, I think they need KD for the series. And that says a lot. It helps his free agency value.
I also believe that. But so far, this game has been next man up, and that's exactly what the Warriors have been like. Klay Thompson goes down. Cook comes in, hits some threes. Over the course of the year, DeMarcus Cousins goes down. You have bigs like Kevon Looney, Andrew Bogut stepping up. Kevin Durant goes down. You have Andre Iguodala hitting a clutch shot. So it's just
on one leg.
On one leg, yeah. It's just next man up, and it's been a really great showing for this Warriors team. It's probably been the most likable team they've had since their first go-around back in, I think it was 2014.
Well, for once, it's not the typical, and no matter what, in a series, when you lose that first game, you could talk your team into being the underdog. Look at us. We're down 0-1. Everyone's down against us. And, it was the first time they've lost a game 1 during this dynasty in the finals.
Yeah.
So I think they're thriving off of it. I think that's all they're doing right now, and I can't blame them.
They're a really good road team. In the last, I think, 23 playoff series, they've won at least one road playoff game, which is crazy.
Yeah. So at this point in the finals, who's your MVP?
So right now I'm
Finals MVP,
Finals MVP, yep. So I'm going to forecast it here because right now I don't think there's a clear winner. No. But right now it seems like Klay Thompson could be the favorite.
Interesting.
So Klay Thompson, again, before he got injured, he had 25 points. He was a +7, 10 of 17 shooting, 4 of 6 from 3. I expect him to have a big game 3 and a big game 4, and I think he's probably going to win the MVP because Durant's obviously out of the equation.
Unless he comes back and he plays out of his mind.
I think Draymond's in the conversation.
I think Steph's in the conversation
Steph is
too.
as well. He hasn't played as well as I thought he would early on.
I think the stats are a little misleading because Klay didn't have a great game 1. That's the truth.
No, he didn't have a good game 1, no.
But Steph went out. He scored 34 points that game. And it wasn't a dynamic 34 points. Don't get me wrong. He wasn't shooting the lights out. But he was driving in the basket. He was willing to sacrifice himself. And this game only scored 23. Klay scored 25. But Steph's been out there on the court. If you're watching the game, you're seeing his influence, his impact a lot more. He's running around screen after screen. He's playing some of the best defense we've seen from Steph Curry.
I just have a feeling Klay's going to hit a big shot or two to close out the series.
It wouldn't shock me, but I feel like that hamstring is going to be an issue.
It might be.
For a guy like Klay Thompson, who is very athletic, moves around the court a ton, a Warriors offense that isn't slow. It may change with KD where it's a little more ISO and they let them do their thing. But right now with the way this team playing, everything is fast. You have a hamstring injury, I'm not feeling good about that.
Do you think it'll be Curry?
I do. I think Curry's healthy enough to get through this. He played sick through a game, so now he has that narrative with him too.
That's true, yep.
Because he looked sick. He did look.
Yeah, he was sick. Yeah.
He was eating those little gels. You hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to stay alive. But he didn't look good. He looked very sick.
Trying to stay alive.
Yeah, but for Steph, playing without obviously Klay in this game and kind of pulling out the last second win, he didn't hit the big shot, but he was on the court.
Yeah,
I think it's just going to turn in, and everyone wants Steph to win the Finals MVP.
They all do. Yep.
And we know narrative a lot of the time with this stuff. It's a storyline.
Well, I think Steph Curry, I think he's a top 3 player in the world. I think he's right up there. I think he's the
So who do you wait? So is Kawhi not a top 3, or is he a top 3 to you?
No, Kawhi's right
So
there
is LeBron not in your top 3?
He's not my top 3 right now.
You sicken me.
He's not.
You fool.
He's not. He's probably 5th.
Are you serious?
Right now,
5th? Who's 4th?
5th. So if I had to rank him top 5 now, I think Durant, when healthy, is the best player in the world.
So Kawhi's not your best player in the world at this point. You're not buying into that narrative?
No, I didn't say that. Kawhi's 3. I have Kawhi number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I have Steph 2.
I still have LeBron as my number 1.
You have number 1 still?
Yes, without a
you
doubt.
You think Kawhi's number 1 yet?
No, Kawhi's not my number 1. Listen, it's great to see what Kawhi's done this postseason, carrying a team like this, doing all the things he did. And I know a lot of people want to sit there and be like, well, LeBron had Kyrie, when he was running through the East time and destroying the Raptors and stuff like that.
Yep. Baby dinosaurs.
Do people not realize what the Raptors were with their roster, even without Kawhi? They were still a very, very annual playoff, top of the conference team. Well, they just couldn't get over the hurdle.
They could not. Yeah, Kawhi, I think if you take Kawhi off that team is probably a 8th seed, 7th seed at best. I don't think they're that good. I really think Kawhi makes them.
Because you took DeMar DeRozan out, you threw Kawhi into the equation. If you take another star, they're not going to be. They'll still be near the top of the conference. That's the truth. That doesn't take away from anything Kawhi's done. What sticks out, but you know what is part of being one of the best players in the league? Longevity and being on the court. Kawhi missed 22 games this year for load management. The year before, he played 9 games. No matter what, I can't declare you the best player in the world.
Well, you have Durant, too?
Yeah, Durant's my number 2. And honestly, it's interchangeable. You've heard me at times. I've been LeBron, KD, kind of depending on the day. And I think that's the truth of the argument.
Yeah, I think just strictly due to age, that's why I'd roll Durant.
I'm not taking away for LeBron, who played the second half of last season with the injury he did. He was hurt.
I just think he's going to take a dip next year.
I can understand that, but it's not next year. That's what's.
Oh yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I'm
true.
saying?
Yeah,
I'm not taking away. He still averaged 27, 8, and 9 this year. That still stands out. That didn't change. With the roster that was not very talented, often injured, with drama and that organization, not taking it away yet. He hasn't. For everything LeBron has done throughout his career, it's not that easy. It's not. And for KD, maybe it changes if he goes out and he gets the Finals MVP this time.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
You know what I mean?
He'd have to only play 3 games. It would be crazy.
And the truth is, even with
It'd be a
KD,
third straight.
he was leading offensively in almost every category in the playoffs before he got hurt. But Kawhi was right there with him. I need to see it from Kawhi more. When you name someone the best player in the world, it's not just for one day, because anybody could be the best player for a night or a year.
Yeah, that's why I have
that
Kawhi
sustained
number. Yeah, that's why I have Kawhi 3.
Yeah, I totally understand that, and I can understand anyone who throws KD. I'm not turning it over on LeBron yet. Not yet.
You don't have Steph there yet?
Steph's probably my 4. Steph is unfortunately just limited due to size. That's the truth. You know what I mean? And injuries. He's another guy who's gone through it a little better this year.
He's been relatively healthy this year.
Yeah, better this year. But overall, with Steph, you can't deny, as great of a shooter as he is, he can't do all the things in the game that a KD, Kawhi, or LeBron can do. It's just the nature of it, you know? But for people building this narrative of Kawhi being the best player in the world, do you think he'll ever hold that title?
He might. He really might, because
he's the best two-way player in the league. I don't even think that's a conversation.
Yeah. It really depends what Kawhi does for the rest of the series and what he does next year. The more and more I think about it, I think there's a better chance he's going to stay in Toronto.
I agree.
Really do.
With all the money he's already given up, you know what I mean? It's going to be a total $80 million if he chooses another destination outside of Toronto from the money he lost.
Not to mention, if I see Kawhi as a guy, I thought he was a shoo-in for the Clippers, but
Chris Prasad still believes that.
Yeah, I disagree with that now. I don't think he's going to want to go to L.A. to be in the spotlight. I think he's going to hide himself in Toronto.
He's become the face of an entire country, and that's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
It's such a cool thing.
He's the biggest. Like I was saying this to someone else, he's probably the second most influential person in Canada, right behind Drake.
Yeah.
Right behind him, right?
No, 100%. You have to agree to that.
Like, we're not the biggest hockey guys, but I don't think there's a hockey star in Toronto right now that eclipses the love for Kawhi or Drake by that means.
No, there's not. And you look at what Kawhi's doing. He has the vintage moment already.
He already was offered a $20 million house. He's free food,
free
forever.
penthouse. Are you serious?
$20 million.
He has 35 theaters across Toronto were open so people could come and watch the game for free. They have those Jurassic Park little outside watching parties everywhere throughout the country right now. Kawhi is demanding a level of attention that, honestly, no athlete has really ever had in Canada.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, and if he could keep this going, on top of it, the brotherhood, the Toronto kind of thing, it's not overrated. It's a very close organization. You look at Kyle Lowry, he said he still talks to DeMar DeRozan every single day. That's just how that team is built. Yeah. I can't imagine, no matter where he goes, I don't think he's going to find that kind of chemistry. You're going to be taking a chance.
Yeah, I have a feeling if I was to bet, I would say he stays right now. It would be a really good story if he stayed.
Yeah, and he'll be seen as the guy who's kind of leaning away from the typical big three, superstar team. And that's what the NBA kind of needs right now. And
he stays in the East.
Exactly. It's a much easier conference. We saw how much LeBron struggled moving to the West this year. It's a pretty easy setup for you to go and chase those rings and at least get to the finals year in and year out, especially if KD moves on. Who knows? Then you see how Toronto's playing against the Warriors right now. It's going to be a series.
They could be the favorite next year.
Exactly. But one of the big things with Drake and Kawhi becoming kind of those huge, now they're connected no matter what. Yeah. How have you felt about Drake on the sidelines?
I have no issue with it. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of funny. If Drake was rooting on your organization, you'd probably be rooting for it too. I think he's been good. I have no issue with it whatsoever. In my opinion, though, he's getting a lot of unnecessary hate, a lot of unnecessary baggage towards it. A lot of people are kind of saying that, he shouldn't be doing this, he shouldn't be doing that. The only thing I think that he crossed the line was he touched Nick Nurse. He probably should not have touched Coach Nick Nurse.
I agree with you. And honestly, Nick Nurse didn't look too psyched out from it.
Nurse said he didn't even know he did it.
No. The moment, everything that was happening there, I can't blame him. I think with Drake, why not have this kind of? He's the ambassador for the team. That's what these guys are supposed to do. I bet he's made people who'd even care about the Raptors into like, oh, I mess with the Raptors because I like Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing him on the sidelines, he is in the heads of some of these Warriors guys. Whether it's
Draymond
having a huge effect.
Yeah.
Oh, when Drake called him trash.
Yeah.
Oh, that felt so, bro. That reminded me like you playing 2K at one of your homies' house. You beat him. He starts talking trash. Shut up, dog. Who are you? Trash. Like, oh, I know Draymond wanted to swing right there. You could see it in his face.
Can you imagine?
Oh, he's sitting there. He's clowning them all. And, like, the funny part is, you look
He
at
got
Drake.
Giannis's head. He absolutely did.
He has the Golden State. He has KD and Steph tattooed on his bicep.
Yeah.
Like, he plays the villain. This is who Drake is. I don't know. I think my favorite moment out of any of this so far has been, I looked up Drake in the search engine like that was going to give me the clip I was looking for. Producer Ben Brophy decided to show up late today, so we're working on the go here. Thank you, Ben. Is this it? I hope. Nope, it's definitely not. Here it is. So here were Drake's comments after Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Just listen to this. How does this not get you hyped up?
All we are is proud and passionate. We are like a college sports team. The Toronto Raptors are a college sports team, I promise you. I love Toronto. I love this team, and we're going to the NBA Finals. Let's go!
Awesome. Everything made sense to me yesterday after this with Drake and what he's doing. So, as far as the antics go, whatever. Drake is a master at showbiz. He's a master at getting people to talk about things. He's a master at having people pay attention to him.
Right. How is that not fun?
Yeah, and he put it in a really good spot here. It's like a college sports town. So you think of college teams, Alabama, LSU, all those Southern college teams where the fan bases mean everything. You're do or die.
You live off of the fan base.
Live off
and
that, yes.
This is how this team plays.
Yes.
Now, something that I think is kind of underrated. There was a lot of talk how at halftime of Game 2, Toronto wasn't back in their seats. The fans weren't. So when the third quarter began, it was a pretty empty-ish arena.
Yeah, Golden State outscored them 34-21.
Exactly. And everyone's kind of like, Toronto, you're carrying this mindset, this attitude, get in your seats.
Yeah.
This team lives with the energy surrounding them.
And I think that's exactly what Steve Kerr was probably telling his team early on.
Yeah, everyone's out having fun, and it's great. This is a great moment for Toronto sports, but it's not done. One win is not the NBA Finals. And it feels like the fan base kind of took it that way.
A little bit, yeah. I don't think Drake got to a seat till the 7:50 mark in the third quarter.
Yeah, so not great. And when he did, he kind of sat there and he shut his mouth pretty quickly.
He had no choice, yeah.
Did you see, what was the picture? He was looking at, who was it? I think he was looking at Cook after he nailed one of the threes. And it was just defeat. He was like, dang, like I can't really talk trash. And then after the game, he gets into it with KD
Thompson
and Clay a little bit.
Yeah.
And Clay just lets him know it's light work. You're lucky I popped my hamstring. If I didn't, it would have been a blowout. And is he wrong? No,
probably not.
He's right.
And Toronto really made an effort to really get in that game in the last
that shows
30
this
seconds.
Team.
Yeah.
And I give Nick Nurse a lot of credit, man.
Me too.
A lot of people think, this moment may be too big. He won 2 championships in the G League.
He did.
He
won a bunch in Europe and London.
Exactly. This is a guy who's been in these moments. He's not going to panic. And you could see it in his team. It's hard. You're facing a dynasty. You're facing a team with so much talent, even with their injuries. And no matter what, the fact that Toronto has made this an interesting series, I think is going to at least make this a rivalry going forward.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, in other news, outside of the finals and everything that's been going on, there was a rumor that came out during the week that the Knicks were considering trading down out of the 3rd overall spot for Atlanta's 8th and 10th overall pick. How are you feeling about that rumor? I'm not buying into it at all.
I'm not buying into it either. I think Atlanta is desperate to make a big move. They are trying anything and everything to pair Trae Young with another superstar, whether that it would be R.J. Barrett being selected 3rd overall, Blake Griffin out in Detroit, whether it's somebody, Clint Capella, who might be available in Houston, Chris Paul, somebody.
Yeah. I think they're doing their due diligence. They're checking out every option, as you should in the draft.
Then there is zero chance the Knicks deal that for the 8th and the 10th. The Knicks have been talking about trading that pick for Anthony Davis. You're telling me they're going to trade it for the 8th and the 10th pick?
And they're, people were like, well, Atlanta's probably going to have to give another piece for that 3rd overall
It'd probably
pick.
be John Collins.
And at that point, you're not making the progress you're hoping to make.
No,
Look at the
defensive
Knicks.
center, no.
No, then with the Knicks where they are right now, they need the superstars. That's what it's about. They're either going to get R.J. Barrett, who they can frame to be a superstar, or go deal him for one.
The Hawks are really, really hoping they end up in the top 3 to pair Trae Young with that extra potential star. And obviously could not do it.
All right, we're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk the dumpster fire that is beginning to light for the Rockets and all the issues they have going on. Then we got some MLB and NFL stuff, so you're not going to want to go anywhere, and we'll catch you all in a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Yeah, you guys want to hear something awful? Jason
hear it.
Pombo likes the song. What is it called? Old Town Road?
Everyone loves
That song's awful.
It's like the most popular
Ben,
song in
as a
America.
country fan, how do you feel about it?
You know, I'm happy that some type of country song got on to the. It hit number one, right? Like, it went big.
I think it's been number one for 7-6 weeks.
Something
Wait,
like
it
that.
still is?
I think so.
Oh, it's gonna crash
It's so,
hard.
From
Number one to number like million.
I
real
can
quick.
tell you right now, he's not going to work after
fine.
this.
Lil Nas-
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
need
need to.
He doesn't
Oh,
need to.
yes, he will. One hit will never be enough to carry him over his life. There's no way.
This guy's got to make a couple million off that. You can live off a couple million.
We were just talking a million is not enough.
Yeah, I
we
don't
said
think
a million,
million's
maybe
not
4 or
enough.
5 years would last us.
What?
But you know what? He's
you
gonna
throw
make-
that in an
he's gonna
account,
make-
you make interest on it, $100,000 a year.
No, he's going to make more than $1 million, though.
He's probably made
I'm
2
gonna
or
look it
3. But he signed to a label immediately, so I'm guessing
he'll be fine.
He gave up a lot of that money though, signing to a label like that.
You get a bonus for signing to a label usually.
Yeah, but all the money he's making off that song is now probably going to the label. If he did it independently, it probably would have been different.
If you kept the rights to the song, he has the money. If not, you still get royalties either way.
Do you think he's gonna be good for life?
He should be good for life. Will he be? No.
I saw him performing at elementary school recently. So do you think?
wait.
you did?
You saw? Did you
Lil
see it?
Nas.
Oh yes,
Lil Nas X.
yes, was performing at elementary school. It was like 100 little kids, like 5 to 6, and they were going insane. They were turned up, man. We're gonna do a music podcast. All right. In other news,
He's worth $3 million right now.
$3 million. That's
That'll go up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
slowly but surely. Okay, so in other news, a big story that broke this week before anything with the Rockets was that Mike D'Antoni had tabled his extension talks. He was done. They were no longer going to be happening. He only has one more year left on his deal. Then the Rockets came out and said, everyone's up for trade. We'll move any piece, whatever it may be, if the deal will make us a better team.
Yep.
At this point, I feel like that's one of the worst things you could really put out for your team. If you want guys to like you, if you want players around you to respect you as a front office, how are you feeling about the Rockets?
So D'Antoni is 68.
Yep.
He just turned 68 last month. So he's getting up there in age. Houston was very reluctant to work with him long term because they don't know what kind of parts and pieces his team is going to be going forward. Clint Capella, Chris Paul were the two, Eric Gordon are the 3 notable guys that might get dealt.
You look at Chris Paul, it feels like that deal is almost impossible to move, simply from the fact he'll be making $44 million in the last year of that
There's one
deal.
landing spot for him, and it's the Lakers.
Yeah,
That's it.
and that will just go back to the whole, we
And
all
I
think
think
back
that's
to the trade
I
that
think
got
that's a
him.
realistic possibility.
Yeah, the trade that didn't happen way back. I think with Chris Paul, and we know his relationship with LeBron, this is sticking to him. The fact that he's the kind of the name everyone's talking about where it's like they just want to get out of this money they owe.
Yep.
He's not going to like that. This guy is a superstar in this league. Is he still a player as a superstar? I don't believe so, but as a personality, he is.
Yeah.
He's on almost every commercial you see on TV.
State Farm.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know. I don't like this feel for the organization. They've had their own issues over the past couple of years in terms of chemistry. We saw Harden and Paul getting into it
Well,
heavy.
Another issue here is the owner, rumor has, is reluctant to pay for the luxury tax. So that could be
Yes.
another reason.
And that's the issue right now between the GM and ownership. It's kind of back and forth. And we know Capella, his stock dropped rapidly this playoffs. Just from the fact that he wasn't productive. You couldn't even keep him on the court.
No.
But your boy, Eric Gordon.
Yeah, well, he's not my boy, but I like Eric Gordon. He's a nice piece.
Averaged 16 points per game last year. Has the ability to get guys open and create plays. He's owed $14 million.
Yes, that's a lot.
Yeah, the rumor kind of going around is maybe he'd be the fit the Celtics have been starving for.
I'd be okay with it depending on the asking price. 30 years old, $14 million due next season. He's a great offensive player.
He played out of his mind in the playoffs.
Yeah, he can create his own shot. He's a good jump shooter. A good stand-up shooter would be awesome in Brad Stevens' system.
Now, do you think the Rockets, for where they're at, they should just blow it up and just try to...
I don't know, because the more and more I think about it, they were so close 2 years ago.
They were so... if Chris Paul doesn't get injured, history may look very different.
If Durant dips, Golden State is obviously weaker. I really don't think anything out of the Lakers so far. I don't think Denver's there. So there's no clear front favorite in the West. I think Houston, with their current core, if Golden State kind of topples, could be the next team.
No, I agree with you there. I just think for the Rockets where they are right now, the feeling amongst this team, amongst the front office, is just this is one of those teams that are still another piece away. And unfortunately, they don't have the assets or the ability to go get that another piece.
And another thing here is Chris Paul and James Harden reportedly got into a little bit of a verbal altercation.
Screaming.
The end of last year, so.
Yeah. And you got to look, a lot of people are saying the Rockets want to go and get a draft pick since they don't have one in the first round this year.
Yeah, they don't.
I can't blame them if they want to go
and
that
the Celtics
route.
have 3.
Yes. So, that's where the kind of Eric Gordon connection and just if a mega deal, who knows anything that could happen. The Celtics are always going to field offers. And we know their front office obviously has a connection to the Celtics front office. I don't know. If I'm the Rockets, I'm not ready to blow it up yet. I think you made your bed, you just lie in it. If you somehow break through in the next couple of years, that's great. If not, you were a competitive team. Yeah.
If I had to guess, I think Capella is the most likely to get dealt of the 3. I think it's going to be tough to move Paul. But Capella, I think you can get a team to bite.
No, I agree with you there. There's still enough projection. The deal is extremely team-friendly. So, I don't know. I don't know how many teams are going to exactly be starving. His trade stock is not exactly high, but there's still room to make a move. I don't think the Rockets are going to be able to get better than where they are.
Clint Capella is a nice consolation prize if you swing and miss on the top free agents.
Exactly. And I think
the Lakers had interest in him last summer too.
And the truth is, I think if you're waiting that long to move a piece like Capella, the Rockets can't really afford it. Because if they're going to make this team better, it's going to need to be a significant piece.
Yeah.
Should we switch to baseball?
Yep.
All right. So, Jason, Red Sox-Yankees series just happened. As someone who had the Yankees winning the division.
Yep. It's looking good.
Yeah, you must be feeling pretty good.
Well, no, but yes.
Well, yeah, for your prediction,
My
you have to
predictions,
be
yes.
feeling
My
good.
heart, no.
No, I feel you there. It was an interesting series. I think the Yankees just felt like a team where everything was going right, and the Red Sox felt like everything was going wrong.
Yes.
One team gets the luck. One team, the Boston it feels like they start every game so slow. It is infuriating to me. First couple innings, it feels like a team gets out a couple runs ahead. Then by that point, it's catch up until the bullpen blows it.
Yes.
I don't think the series was. I think yesterday was a must-win game.
Yeah, it was. If you get swept, I think you're screwed.
No, it would be that stamp. The Yankees would own the Red Sox, and it would have been that simple.
Were they 1-5 against them now?
Yeah. So it's been a rough year to start.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the end of the world. They've only played these games at Yankee Stadium. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we know how the Yankees play at home, especially with their bats.
The only thing unfortunate is they have that series in London, which would be at Fenway.
Yeah. I think for the Red Sox right now.
So that's a neutral setting.
Yeah. I think for the Red Sox right now, the biggest thing is they're still looking like a competitive team that can win games and win late in the playoffs if they have to. Their bats, they come through. The starting pitching, David Price, I don't care what anybody says, he's the ace of this team.
Right now he is, yeah, absolutely.
I think he's always been the personality ace,
Yeah.
the leader.
Yeah.
In terms of that, Chris Sale obviously had a ridiculous season last year.
Insane.
Yeah. But he made 27 starts, and we remember through the postseason he wasn't effective.
No.
He did get the last out. That's what people remember. But David Price was the guy, the
he had 2 wins in
go-to.
the World Series.
Yeah. He should have won the World Series MVP in my opinion.
Yeah, you could certainly make an argument for him. Him, Pierce, Evaldi with the 3, really.
Yeah. I think right now where the Red Sox are at, if they're going to go, they need Chris Sale to go.
Yes.
And he just can't.
I mean, he hasn't had much run support, him or Price. I think
Sale hasn't given them a lot of time. He's given up runs early in the game. For this Red Sox lineup, yes, they're struggling early. It doesn't help when your ace, the go-to guy, goes and he's walking guys now. He's out there. He's getting frustrated. You could see it. The control is just not there.
Yeah.
And for a guy like Chris Sale who has mechanic issues, he's tinkering every start. You can see the slight differences.
He's overthinking.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a health issue. I don't know if it's that because he's dealt with that consistently. But in our reality, he's had a lot of ups and downs at times in his career. I just think at this moment, the Red Sox are just victim of it.
Yeah.
And the other part is the bullpen.
Real bad.
Some days it looks like you can get you by, and other days you're like every reliever.
Trust about one guy.
Every reliever looks the same.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Look, tell me the difference between Brandon Workman, Heath Hembry, Matt Barnes is a slightly richer version of those two.
Yep.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Ryan Brazier, Heath Hembry.
Ryan Brazier sucks.
No, I know. Agreed. Ryan Brazier, Heath Hembry, and Brandon Workman are just...
Workman got the save last night.
Yes, and think Tyler
Still
Thornburg.
on 3 runs in the 9th.
Yeah, and Tyler Thornburg. Tell me how different those... Thornburg's obviously on the DL. They're not that different.
Again, you just spin the wheel.
And then you had Ryan Weber before, Josh Smith, all these guys.
Lakin.
Oh, poor Travis Lakins. It's just... They need a different look. They need an arm that can come out and just kind of reshape the hitter, give him something to think about.
And I tweeted, it should have been Adam Ottavino.
I agree. Ottavino looked great this series.
Should have been.
Yeah, we both talked about him. He was kind of our guy.
Yeah.
You know, and then after that, we turned to David Robertson.
Yep.
Then David Robertson went to Philly. If I'm the Red Sox right now, I stop waiting. Dombrowski's going to let this team continue to sit here and just kind of sputter out, and that's not what you can do. I think no matter what, they're going to be able to grab a wild card. I do believe that.
For sure. I know right now they're outside the second wild card spot, but
Barely.
regardless, they will. They'll still somehow, some way.
It's just, you look at other teams. I don't think the Indians are making the playoffs at this point.
Minnesota's been great.
Yeah, Indians are lost. They don't know what they're doing. But if I'm the Red Sox, I make a move immediately. Don't wait for teams to start making moves, because every year at the trade deadline, there's a few teams who make that early move.
That overextend for relievers, this and that, and the Red Sox can't compete with that.
No, exactly. So go out, get the job done. Obviously it's not going to be Craig Kimbrell, who, available today now.
Signed today, yeah.
Won't be coming to the Red Sox. Dombrowski will never admit that mistake. But you need to go. I think Will Smith is still the guy. We talked about it a little bit last week, but I think this team will end up destroying themselves. If you want to have any chance of the division, you need to start playing good baseball now. There's no excuse that it's April or May anymore. It's June.
Yes.
These are the days where the divisions shape themselves out. I'm not feeling great about this bullpen, even if they do add another piece, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, it's been a real rough outlook for them. Even Walden's kind of faltered a little bit.
He can't handle these late inning situations. It's not him. He's
a seventh inning guy at best.
Exactly. Brazier came in last year and he somehow was good enough to pitch in the 8th. Be blessed.
Brazier is so bad now.
No, he's awful, and I don't think he's going to get better.
He's so bad. They laugh at him.
No, I tried.
They laugh at him.
And you know me, I kept saying, I was like, I just don't like the idea of running with a guy like Brazier sitting there. Like, he's not closer material to me. Everything he throws, it's a fastball right down the middle. Yep. That's all it is.
Straight as can be.
Yeah. And right now, this Red Sox team, every pitcher, fastball, curveball. No different looks. That's what's going to kill you. Look at Adam Ottavino and that slider.
He's insane.
That slider. Imagine if you just had that one switch.
See, the contract wasn't even bad. What was it, 3-27?
Yeah, beautiful. That's beautiful for a reliever.
That Yankees bullpen is insane.
And Aroldis Chapman's back to being himself.
Yep.
He looked dominant last night. You can't compete with this bullpen. I do think the Yankees have a slump coming. I do believe it.
They're bound to be, right?
They've had too much going right, and I think it'll be when their stars do return. I think they're going to lose some of the fun flexibility this team has going on.
Because they're going to have to send some guys down.
And that's just the truth.
That'll be a tough decision.
And, you have Didi coming back soon. That's probably going to force Gio out of that lineup because they're going to have to probably... You put Didi at shortstop. You already have DJ LeMahieu playing in that infield, and he's been one of their best players this year.
Batting over 300.
Yeah, and you have Gleyber Torres, who's probably going to be moved over to third base.
Yeah.
So at that point, Gio's been above 300 hitter for you.
And you have Anwar next year.
They have so much. There's so many different names trying to fit. And then they have Clint Frazier out there, who, despite all of his mistakes, is still a very well-regarded prospect in the MLB. I can't believe he looked that bad in right field.
Yeah.
I remember. So I hope I have this right in my head. But back in 2013, when they drafted Trey Ball, I believe Clint Frazier was the 5th overall pick to the Indians, off the top of my head. You going to look that up for me, Jason? Thank you. And I wanted Clint Frazier because he was known as a hitting freak. Like, he had people said, is this the next Bryce Harper kind of bat with his speed or the bat speed itself? Now, not really. I think he's going to be a good player. He's a DH. He can't field anything. He's athletic, too. He's not some big, overweight dude. He just can't field balls. You got anything, Jason? Was I right?
I'm getting there.
Thank you. Besides that, we had
5th overall. Yep.
5th overall. I remember 2013?
Yes.
Look at my memory.
You know where he went to school?
He was out of high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of Georgia, Logansville High School.
I believe him and Austin Meadows lived in the same town in Georgia, and they played at rival schools.
Oh, really?
Yes. There we go. My random baseball knowledge coming from my head. But in other news with the Red Sox, there was actually Dustin Pedroia.
Pedroia, news?
Yes.
Kind of
Should
update?
we give a little idea of what's going on with Dustin Pedroia in his career, Mr. Ben Brophy?
Oh, yes, we should.
All right, run it up.
Some days I feel fine, and then an hour later, it's like I can't even, walking is tough. So you guys probably caught me at the time where I felt good. And I think that's just the tough part at this level. You play 162 games in 183 days or whatever it is. And, if I'm on an hour-to-hour basis of, being able to do anything athletically, that's tough. So, I think the time will give me the right, answer of if my knee can do this.
That's really sad. Listen, I know on the show it's been a pretty constant conversation we've had about not believing in Dustin Pedroia as a baseball player anymore. I guess this is confirmation. I don't think he ever plays another game again.
I disagree.
I think he plays one more game.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.
Yes, plays one more.
I don't think he ever
David
plays regularly.
Wright-esque.
Yes. I believe, did I tweet that out? Did I tweet something like that out?
I kind of stole that from
Thank you, Jason Pombo. Yeah, we don't believe he ever plays regularly again. That's probably the better way to frame it. That one game, I don't know if he'll come this year. Maybe if Dombrowski doesn't save this team.
If this is the end of Pedroia, just a random thought. Is he a Hall of Famer?
No.
His number retired?
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely think so.
MVP, Rookie of the Year, 4-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, 2-time World Series champion. Well, 3 basically.
Tell everyone what that batting
Silver
average is.
Slugger.
How painful that batting average is. Look at it, the career batting average.
I'm going to guess. I think it's probably like 280.
299.
290. Oh!
He's like 3 hits or 4 hits away from 300.
What if he plays in his game and he goes 4 for 4?
And he has a 300 career batting average.
Will it go up or
He'll
no?
get in via the Veterans Committee, I bet. I bet something like that will happen, but he won't get off the ballot. You
don't think so?
No. I love Dustin Pedroia, don't get me wrong, but he's not even the best second baseman of his generation.
Check postseason. How is he in the postseason?
Yeah, you look at Robinson Cano. I don't even think his postseason stats are that great. The first year, or 07, definitely.
No, 233.
Yeah, 07 was pretty special. He had the home run in Game 1 of the World Series. You remember that? Going straight to left field.
He was good in the 07 he was good.
Yeah, the other years, nothing too special. But overall, for Pedroia, yeah. You look at Robinson Cano. He had better batting statistics, and he won some Gold Gloves himself.
But now Cano has that steroid charge against him.
Yeah, that doesn't mean
Does that take
anything
him
to
out?
me.
No?
Maybe amongst voters, but he'll get in. I think by the time he's up for that, it
That's
won't
the
be
only thing
something
Pedroia
people
can
care
help for.
about.
If voters are like, well, Cano took steroids here. Pedroia, he was a dirt dog. He was a grinder. I'm going to vote for Pedroia. There's a chance.
If it was my Hall of Fame, I would say yes. Because Dustin Pedroia is the guy. Look at what everybody's been saying. Bobby Witt Jr., who is going to be drafted today, 2nd overall likely, he called Dustin Pedroia the player he always wanted to be.
A lot of people, yeah.
That speaks to it.
He was, I know, Jose, he was...
He was Altuve before Altuve.
Yeah, Altuve, yeah. In terms of height, in terms of grittiness. Pedroia, he's listed at 5'9". He's not 5'9". He's 5'7".
The truth is, look at where Jose Altuve is right now.
Yeah.
His body's falling apart on him.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Similar, yeah.
You know, your body just gets destroyed. Guys who stayed in at second base. I swear there were times he threw the ball without his feet being on the ground.
Have you read Pedroia's book before?
Yes, I have. I read it back in high school.
He was
Did
a
you?
shortstop at Arizona State.
Yep. Did his thing.
Who beat him out? Who's the...
What do you mean?
Because he originally wanted to play shortstop, right?
Yes, but when he was getting drafted, they didn't believe he could play shortstop because
didn't he beat someone out?
Ian Kinsler.
That's who it was, yeah.
You're thinking Ian's. Shout out Ian Kinsler, who we destroyed 2 weeks ago. But yeah, Ian Kinsler originally wanted to be the shortstop at Arizona State.
He beat him out, yeah.
Didn't give it to him. And that's originally Devin Marrero. Years later, we ended up grabbing him. It's kind of that repeated cycle. They were hoping Devin Marrero's with the Diamondbacks now.
Can't hit.
Yeah. Listen, and I know a lot of people are looking at the Red Sox right now, so this draft kind of shadows when he was drafted. So Pedroia was a 2nd-round pick.
Yep.
This year, the Red Sox don't have a 1st-round pick. They have a 2nd-round pick. Can you find the next Pedroia? I think the Boston Globe put an article out.
You already have the next Pedroia. His name's Mike Chavis.
Yeah, it's second base.
Yes.
It's just... I think more in terms of the draft they were saying, but yeah, Michael Chavis is the future at the position.
Yes.
Even though he made some great grabs at first base last night, it's sad, and that's part of the reason you're seeing this approach. He knows there's no opening coming, and he plays one position. You play second base. You can barely play. You can't play every day. You can barely play maybe once or twice a week. a roster is not going to be able to hold that.
I agree. Yeah.
My computer's crying over Dustin Pedroia right now. How tragic.
So was everyone. That press conference was so sad.
You could see I'm looking at Dave Dombrowski's face right from over here. Look at how sad he looks. I'd be sad too. I think for Dustin Pedroia, he would announce his retirement if he was any other player. If it was any other guy at this point, it would be over. David Wright wrapped it. He tried and tried, but eventually he was like, once he couldn't feel good every day.
He's a better player, Pedroia or Wright?
Dustin Pedroia is a better player than David Wright.
Damn right he is.
David Wright doesn't have a ring
is.
to his name. David Wright was an inconsistent player throughout his career as well. As much as people want to crap on Pedroia, there's a reason he's a .299 career hitter.
Call him a 300 hitter.
Yeah, he is. No, he's a 300 hitter. Cool. I believe he has to go two hits.
2 hits?
2 for 2, I should say.
He's going to get those hits.
If he could go 2 for 2 in that last game, I think they're going to groove a fastball right down the middle, just like they did to Jeter.
I hope so.
Who I believe it was Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes legitimately threw a ball down the middle and let him get that last hit. Your boy. But that's the law. Like, listen, it would be so sad if that's how this year ends. Imagine if the Red Sox fall out of contention. It's just a bad, second half disaster.
So then the only thing we have to look forward to is Pedroia?
I think that would be
How much are those tickets going to be?
Oh, we would not. No one. None of us are going to that game. That'd be ridiculous.
Now, who do you play him against? The Yankees?
Who do they play on the last day of the season? I have no idea.
I don't want that. I don't want the last game of the
That's
season.
probably what it would be. I know that
Really?
hurts you. I know. Well, how far out of contention are we talking?
Well, what if they're in contention? Well,
if they're in contention, he's not playing. There's no way they could get that to work.
Well, I think he's going to have a game. You think...
If they're in contention, I don't think he plays. I don't think they can. I don't think they can pull it off. You can't justify that.
I think they will
Oh,
somehow.
God. That seems crazy. The only reason David Wright
If you have the wild card locked up or whatever.
If you secured your spot.
That's what I'm talking about,
But if you're talking the second wild cards come down to the last couple days every single year. Know what I'm saying?
The last game is against the Orioles. That's perfect.
Yeah, that is perfect.
Yep, that's home. Yep.
It's home. Oh, wow. Yeah. That might... God. I don't know. If it's like... it's a great
last game
story.
against the Yankees is Monday, September 9th.
Yeah, so that definitely won't be then. It's a very hard situation to frame if this team is coming down the stretch. But if it's one of those games where, like, end of the year, there's everybody off the bench is playing in the game, maybe.
Yeah, I think Pedroia's got one more left in him.
I hope the situation arises. I do. Back in terms of where the Red Sox are at right now, Andrew Benintendi was taken out of the leadoff spot, and Mookie Betts is now going to be hitting leadoff for the rest of the year.
Reinserted.
As, the whole conversation, Alex Cora was really big on moving Mookie down, and, he's such a great hitter at top. Matt, if he hits some of those home runs.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that at the beginning. I think if it wasn't broke, why are you going to mess with it? I know what the analytical people say and stuff. I get it. But
that's the thing. Analytics are not always the full story, and that's what people need to realize. There's other components that go into this stuff. I understand why they made the move. I don't think
so
Mookie...
effective. He was MVP, this and that.
Well, you look at Mookie. What pitch does he hit best? The fastball. What do you see when you hit leadoff? The fastball. Get those over easy pitches early in the game,
I never saw Benintendi as a leadoff hitter. I don't know why.
He's not fast.
No, he's not really quick. He's not really anything.
Benintendi has become a very average ball player. I think the J.D. Drew comp will be him for his career. I don't think he's ever going to be great. I think he's going to be a solid.
Does that mean his career was underachieved? Did he overachieve or underachieve?
No. As a 7th overall pick, that's obviously a really big deal. But if he gets to the MLB, you look at how many players every year don't even make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he can hit 270, 260 for his career, 20 home runs a year, the thing is, defensively, he sucks. He's awful defensively. He has... when I say this, he has the worst arm I've ever seen in the outfield.
You think so?
Yeah, he's worse than Jacoby.
That's who I was thinking.
I honestly, and you look, Jacoby made diving plays in center field.
That's true. Yeah.
Benintendi, he did make the amazing catch last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's going to be the highlight. Yeah. That's it.
So Benintendi hitting 259 this year.
Yeah. He hasn't been bad. People want to send that narrative out. He's average. This is what he is. He's never hit 300 in his career. People like to pretend like there's this Andrew Benintendi all-star amazing player.
No, he had 290 last year.
Yeah. And OBP?
OBP was 366.
And how many home runs?
16.
Good player.
In 2016, his first year, he was 295.
Yeah, good player. And that obviously was a shortened stint within itself.
Yep,
He's
34
a good
games.
Yeah, he's a good ball player. Not going to be the great, knock the wall down kind of guy. He's not Mookie Betts. He's not Xander Bogaerts,
Bogaerts, man.
Oh, Xander Bogaerts,
Cody,
2 home
extension.
runs in the last 2 games of that series.
Gotta love it.
If
Mookie was to ditch, I'd feel okay. I'd be very, very I'd feel okay. I wouldn't be in panic mode.
I think you could build a team around a lot of good Xander Bogaerts play like that. He's an all-star at this point.
He is, yeah.
A lot of all-star caliber players. It's just I don't think he's a superstar.
No, he's not a superstar.
But
I think he's a
Mookie,
star.
you need that superstar,
Yeah.
and Mookie's still that. I think honestly, Mookie's season it's been very solid. It's not great or bad. I think that's perfect for what the Red Sox are hoping for.
But Bogaerts has been awesome. Already hitting over 300 here.
How many home runs is he at now?
He is at 12.
He's
His
gonna-
career high is 23 last year.
He's gonna beat that
Yeah,
this
he's
year.
getting about 28, 29.
And this is the Xander Bogaerts people had hoped for. And if he turns into a 330 home run guy, then he is a star.
Yeah.
I think the batting
And
average
you
is
got
going
him
to
at
drop.
a good deal.
Yes, very good deal. And we'll see how long he can play shortstop. He's been fine there this year.
Yeah.
Not great, not bad. It's
Still
typical.
only 26.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And now you see, who knows? Maybe they look at Jackie Bradley. I think Jackie is going to be out no matter what.
Yeah, me
they
too.
have his replacements are about to be in Double-A. With
Good guy.
Duran, future Jacoby Ellsbury out there. But for this Red Sox team where they're at right now, you kind of just got to take it for what it is. Everything went right last year. They were bound to hit these bad luck times.
Yeah.
For the division, do you think if they get to first place, what do you think it takes?
It's going to take a lot, man.
Like-
They're going to need the Yankees to kind of turtle a little bit. They're going to need to go on a run. That bullpen needs to get fixed.
They have 14 games left against the Yankees this year.
They're going to need to go like 10-4, 9-5.
I think last night was a big step with David Price conquering his demons at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And you could tell it was rocky still. It was still a little bit rocky.
Yeah.
But
Gave you 6 good innings.
yes, 6 1/3.
6 1/3.
But just you need Chris Sale. You can't get by without that dominating
So
force.
do you think they can go 10-4 against the Yankees?
Can they? Yeah. I don't think that's insane against this current Yankees team without
Well,
their
I'm just
stars.
saying, do you think, what do you, if you had to guess their record of the next 14 games against the Yankees?
It's not going to be 10-4.
No, me neither.
I feel like that's best case.
I think they'd be lucky to get
I'm
7.
going to say 8-6.
Yeah,
I think they're
they'd
going to
be
win
lucky
more
to
than
get
they
to 7.
lose. I think with this team right now, what you're seeing is a bunch of guys who never have been a star in their career.
It's similar to, I saw a tweet, the 2013
No,
Red Sox.
Jason,
You don't
I
think
wanted
so?
to scream at you about
DJ
this.
LeMahieu?
That is the stupidest
That's
thing
an
I've ever
underrated
heard.
signing.
DJ LeMahieu? Yeah, DJ LeMahieu playing, right? He's a very
Yeah.
good ball player. He's won multiple gold gloves.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
When they signed him, do you really think he was going to make that much of an impact?
I think he's going to be a fine player.
I mean, he's leading that team. He's been awesome.
If I'm not wrong, I believe he won a batting title in Colorado.
I know.
Yeah.
I get that, but when he went to New York here, this and that,
I'm
I don't
not
think
buying
anyone
that.
thought. Yeah, I don't think anyone thought he was going to do anything.
No, he wasn't going to be this good, but
No,
he
that's
wasn't
what
going
I'm
to be
saying.
garbage. I think people forget to realize the 2013 Red Sox was legitimately a get-me-by team. They weren't
He
supposed to
got
go
him
to the
by.
playoffs.
He got him by.
The Yankees, with their roster, Giancarlo
This-
Stanton, Aaron Judge.
This team is loaded.
Yes. Look at their bullpen. Just a reminder, let's look at the 2013 Red Sox, right? Jared Saltalamacchia was your starting catcher.
He was.
Mike Napoli was at first
No, but
base who had a
I'm talking
degenerative
about like
hip.
the offseason signings. I'm not talking about the team in general.
Even still, Mike Napoli was a signing that year.
Who did the Yankees? Who was the other guy they had this offseason?
What do you mean?
Timeout.
You talk about Adam Ottavino? This sign,
They had their Yankees offseason. Who was
they
it?
signed Aaron Hicks to an extension.
Hicks. Okay. What else did they do? Didn't they do something else?
Besides that, there wasn't a ton of movement
I know
within the
they
team. They had the trade for Hap.
Trade for Hap. What's his face? Paxton.
Yep. I was meaning Paxton. I didn't even think of Hap. There we go. I said him backwards.
There's one other. But I've liked what they've been able to do. Aaron Boone, somehow,
He's
some way.
looking like a solid manager.
They have the same record as Alex Cora his last 2 years.
Really? That's crazy.
In the regular season.
Yeah. But see, what you need to take in with the 2013 Red Sox, you had a platoon in left field of Johnny Gomes and Daniel Nava.
Of course, you were a Daniel Nava guy.
Yes, of course I was a Daniel
he do
Nava guy. He's coaching. I believe he's coaching. He almost died. Did you know that?
No, how'd he die?
Dude,
Almost
he had
died.
like an infection or something like that. He had I'm pretty sure he was like learning how to like live again.
Oh. I didn't know
Like
that.
it was really bad.
Last played was 2017.
Who was he with? Phillies? Yeah.
I do remember.
No, but just think, right? Left field was Johnny Gomes and Daniel Nava.
Yep.
You had Jacoby Ellsbury, who at that point in his career people didn't care for.
Yep. He got paid after.
Without
well.
a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Third base was Will Middlebrooks.
I thought they moved Bogarts to third because Stephen Drew was a short. Remember?
That was but no. So remember, Stephen Drew, we didn't sign him until May because he
Yep.
had sat out.
Yep.
And then Bogarts didn't come up until the playoff run.
Correct. And they moved Bogarts to third.
Yes, in
Yeah.
the playoffs.
Pedroia was at second,
Yep,
obviously.
and you had Mike Napoli at first. John Lester
Who
was your
the,
ace.
Who was the platoon with Napoli?
No, it was just Napoli.
I thought there was someone else with Napoli.
Really? I couldn't be misremembering.
Look it up.
Let's pull up this 20.
Lester was awesome, though.
But let's think of the time. Do you remember the extension they offered him?
4 and 7.
Yes, because he had an awful season the year before.
That's such a bad contract.
And who was your number 2? Clay Buchholz.
Yeah.
And your number 3, John Lackey, who was the joke of the city at that point.
He had a great year.
Amazing year.
And PV was in the offseason. I'm not in the offseason.
Trade deadline.
Yeah.
They brought PV in. Hold on.
I thought they had another first.
Hold up. Let's break. Holy crap! I forgot about. And your right fielder Shane Victorino.
Yep, flying Hawaiian, great year.
Craig Breslow leading your bull.
I think didn't they get him in the trade deadline too?
Who, Breslow?
I thought they did.
No, he was there for the whole year.
He was great that
yeah.
year. He was kind of. Mike Karp was the first
You remember
baseman.
Mike Karp? Oh God, Mike Karp coming from
Seattle.
He hit like 300 here.
Yeah, he had a great year.
But
Steve Pierce.
Yeah, God. But you had Franklin Morales in your bullpen.
Estevez. Estevez was.
No, Estevez wasn't on the team.
No,
he left in 2012. Remember him and Pedroia got in the dust up?
Yes,
and
yes.
that was they were like,
yeah,
get
you're
the
right.
hell outta
Estevez
here.
was Bobby Valentine's
Yeah,
guy. He'd go to him every game.
And you know who else was in the rotation? Your boy Felix DeBront.
Oh, he sucks.
You got to admit, this team is nothing like
No,
that.
no.
Yankees
But
team.
I was talking about the moves.
The
they
signings.
made.
I get it. I think I'm more annoyed just because the Yankees are doing well with these guys.
They're doing awesome.
I like DJ LeMahieu, but I clowned that signing. I remember.
You did.
Remember that?
You did clown him.
Dude, I thought he was going to hit like. So last year, when in other opposing ballparks, his OBP was 270.
Yeah, I know.
270.
I know.
Not even his batting average.
We all thought he benefited from Colorado.
And he's just come here. He's looked good. He saved Clint Frazier last night from one of his awful plays.
If the Yankees do sign Keuchel here, does that make you even more scared?
Yeah, I think I give up the division at that point.
So today when they sign him,
yeah, probably.
Probably during the show.
Give me an hour or two.
All right.
No, even if Keuchel goes.
How about Luke Voigt, man? What's up with him?
He's having a very solid year, man. Very solid.
Such a douchebag, but he's awesome.
Oh, dude, he hits bombs, man.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that the pop fly he had to dive for in the infield.
Gary Sanchez, great year.
Gary Sanchez, listen, you called that. Jason's biggest stance for anyone who didn't realize it before the offseason, he said Gary Sanchez was going to have a huge year. Yeah. He has been ridiculous.
He's been great.
He can hit any ball after ball. The defense is still kind of trash.
Imagine if Severino comes back.
It's scary. This team's gonna be scary. But this is
what Morales playing right now.
But this is what people said.
Yeah.
It was the Red Sox built themselves for a couple year window. This Yankees team, they're gonna be good for the next 5,
dynasty,
6, 7 years.
No one can clown Cashman.
No, he's a genius. He is a genius. There's no even disputing
They're not even
that.
paying anyone other than Stanton. Who are they paying?
No, there's not that much money out there. Look, CC Sabathia, they're paying Tanaka. They're paying Tanaka a little bit.
Ellsbury, I mean, do you want to count that?
He's not playing, so it is what it is. You know, you look around the rest of that infield. Didi Gregorius had a very team-friendly extension he signed. They've done a great job managing it, and everyone complained. Why don't you go sign Manny Machado? This is why.
Yeah,
they have flexibility. The Red Sox have none.
Yeah.
They're sitting here. They don't have a great farm system.
Because everyone was on the Yankees. Why don't you go for Machado? Why don't you go for Harper? And they're like, oh.
Gio's been better than Machado's been for the Padres all year, and he's playing just as good of a third base, and he's hitting 314 or something like that.
Less headaches, less you got to pay him. Cashman, I mean, this is a different Yankees team. This isn't like we're going to pay every single dude in this guy. We're going to pay him this and that. We're going to get him here. No, they built this from the farm system.
Without a doubt.
How many of their starting 9 have they drafted?
Aaron Judge.
Well, when healthy.
It's not that many. It's
Sanchez,
not.
right?
They see what they've done great is they've dealt those prospects to get pieces. So
they've kept the good ones.
Yeah. So you look at Brett Gardner. He came up in that system.
Gleyber Torres.
Yep. Gleyber Torres. But he was dealt for. See, I don't give Gleyber all the way because he came for Chapman.
Okay,
remember? So you have Gleyber who came over for Chapman at second base. DJ LeMahieu came from Colorado.
Yep.
Luke Voigt was St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis.
Gary Sanchez, yes.
Yep.
Third base.
Was Andujar when he's healthy?
Andujar came up through the Yankees farm system. Gio's from the Indians. Yep. He played there for a while.
For the rotation.
Severino.
Just Severino, yeah.
Yeah. And then you look at left. Aaron Hicks came from Minnesota.
Yep.
You know, and Stanton, Miami.
Yep.
So
they've just been good at getting assets, trading them, signing them. They've been good.
The bullpen is where you see a lot of those moves as well.
Is Betances coming back?
He's still a work in progress, but I believe they're saying midsummer, so probably July.
Jesus.
So you think Betances isn't on the? Oh my God, it's scary to even think about it.
You could start an ender every game.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What do they call opener?
Yeah. But you think with these guys, I think there's going to be a little bit of a weird.
There might be.
When all these guys come back,
like the Celtics.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like that exact where all these guys who are bench players are going to be like, well, look at where we were. Say Stan comes back. Stan's going to probably be all right.
Yep.
Judge comes back. It's going to take a little bit for him to find his way.
Yep.
Could
be.
I don't know. I think that's coming, and that's why I'm not giving up. I think the Red Sox still have their best baseball in front of them.
Well, I'll tell you, does this Yankee team this year scare you more than last year?
Oh, way more. Way more. That bullpen.
How would you feel against them in a playoff series?
Not great.
Not good.
No.
I think pitching they match up. Well, I'm thinking Keuchel, man. I don't know. When Severino's healthy.
Dallas Keuchel's good. I don't believe he's a true ace in this league.
No, me neither. But if Severino gets healthy, you add him, Tanaka. If his arm doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
Paxton can figure it out.
Yeah, that's scary. Say right now with Chris Sale, I don't believe in him to trust a game one. I don't. Where has he shown that he can perform in game one?
Yeah, it's true.
He has number one. He can't even pitch in the regular season right now.
But you imagine you'd have to figure it out if this team wants to advance that far anyway.
Yeah, it's going to take another piece. I think the Red Sox are going to have to get creative at the trade deadline, and I don't know what that is.
Do you consider putting Eovaldi in the bullpen? I know we've mentioned it. Still don't? I know you're paying him way too much.
You can't. You don't have the rotation. Look at I believe Hector Velasquez, Ryan Weber.
Houston.
Yeah, Hector Velasquez, Ryan Weber, and Josh Smith. They've made 10 starts this year. They've pitched 33 innings in those 10 starts. So that's enough right there.
Yeah.
They can't get by. They just don't have the pieces. So you get Eovaldi back, your rotation's solid, but the one guy who's supposed to be the star of them all is not that.
Yeah, I mean, right now.
I tell you, I
don't know.
a lot of this blame for this team on Chris Sale. I do. I can't take away from it. Last
put
year,
some blame on Cora?
Not at this point. No. Listen.
A lot of people coming for him.
No, I understand that. You could be upset. What do you want him to do? Is he making any decisions in game that you have an issue with? I don't.
I know. I'm not coming for him.
Yeah.
But media people are.
Like, because of his quote yesterday, I know that was part of it. Listen, shut up. He's a good manager. He won a World Series last year when he was one of the best bench coaches in the MLB before.
108 wins.
Yeah, like it legitimately set a franchise record. You can't ask for anything more than that. I think with Alex Cora, people just got to realize in sports sometimes
he's
it's off
working
years.
with less right now, especially in that bullpen. Aaron Boone has the luxury here of
pick someone out.
Pick and choose, yeah.
His 7th and 6th inning guys are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Chad Green, my God, he pumps 98. The Red Sox don't have a reliever that can pump 98.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Every bullpen in the entire MLB has 7 guys who could throw 98.
Yeah.
Who do the Red Sox have?
Who throws
Matt Barnes.
Is Barnes throw the hardest?
Yes,
I think so,
by
right?
far.
Yeah.
Brazier's like 96. Brandon Workman's throwing 92 out here.
Yeah.
Like, Marcus Walden's not throwing heat.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Heath Hembry has like 95.
And then you get to Chapman. Good luck.
Oh, my God.
Can anyone throw over 100 on the Sox?
No. There's not one guy. Nope.
I mean, Chapman for the Yankees, he doesn't throw 100 anymore, right? Hasn't he knocked it down a tick or two?
For control. But if he has to let loose, he can hit 100 without a doubt. Chad Green can hit 100. He did, I believe, he was an opener about a week ago, and he did it. They have so many arms in that bullpen.
And then if you got Keuchel there to start.
I think Keuchel would be interesting. I think the only thing you're running into with that rotation is no one really has overpowering stuff if you don't get Severino back.
Yeah.
Paxton, say Keuchel,
but then
Masahiro Tanaka.
Then I guess you look at it and be like, well, you go 3 innings. All right.
That's the conversation.
Okay.
Get me through 3 or 4. That's all we need.
It.
And we can do the rest of this
and
thing.
And they all do 1 inning. That's it, right? That's it. Boom.
And we're
That's
set
all
to
you
go.
need it for. Nope.
But with the Red Sox, the thing is, most starters don't go more than 5 innings in the playoffs.
You need Matt Barnes to. Again, this is the issue. You pitch Barnes in high leverage situations in the 7th, and then another one arises in the 9th, and you're like, oh, crap. We got nobody.
You know what I think is coming? I think Matt Barnes is going to go down.
What do you mean go down?
With an injury.
Oh, why do you say that? They got no one else.
Look at his usage.
Oh, then yeah, that's
he is
fair,
being.
yeah.
Have you noticed even yesterday?
They use him a lot.
He's running out of bullets. You can't have a fireman like this all season just go out and pitch every big moment
They
for
need
you.
him. They don't have a choice.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But eventually, something's going to give.
Yeah.
And.
I thought you were saying they were going to give him a phantom injury.
Oh, no.
Like, why?
I just think, Barnes, you can't rely on this heavy and hope something works out here. I truthfully don't. You need another bullpen piece. At this
should have got Ottavino, man.
Listen, at this point, I start mixing in whatever I can. Durbin Feltman hasn't been great, but listen, I still think you're wasting bullets with him down in AA. I truthfully do. I don't care if he hasn't. Just call him up. Let him get a fresh start. I think part of the reason he is struggling is because he's still in AA.
So far, Barnes has pitched in 24 games.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, he pitched 62.
Yep. How many innings so far this year?
He has pitched So his FIP, by the way, is 2.64. He's pitched in 23 2/3.
Okay. Yeah, that's high leverage situations.
So his career high is
pitched a lot.
69.2 in 2017.
He's going to break that.
I think
this
he's probably
year.
going to break that.
I don't like that. What year was that he did that?
2017.
Ugh, I really don't like that then. Coming off a postseason like last year too?
Yeah, well,
Not great.
He used him a lot.
Yeah. I think for this Red Sox team, they need a closer. Did you, I know there was some rumors going around about some of the different arms. They haven't had scouts out at too many games either, but Alex Colomé, people were saying the Yankees had scouts there. They're looking at relievers still.
Why?
Why not? Right? Why
Yep.
not?
Screw it.
You have the riches. Why not use them? You're out
Screw
of
it.
positions. Look at your major league team. The guys you signed to minor league deals are studs.
Your AAA team's going to kick the Orioles' butts, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just keep adding it. They're making their team this powerhouse. The Red Sox, if they could get one reliever, will be lucky.
Yeah.
You know?
And again, the Yankees still have a good system, right?
Oh, yeah. Still very, not great, but like, good
enough to make
better than the Red Sox.
Good enough to make a few good deals.
Yes, better than the Red Sox. I can tell you that much. It's just.
Is Tampa Bay, worry you at all sitting there too?
Yeah. I think Tampa Bay is just a good
I know
team.
they were in the runnings for Kimbrel. Don't know if that's going to pan out.
I can't imagine them getting Kimbrel. That would surprise me, but I think just off pure talent alone, they have enough to get by. Their rotation's still very good. They have Kevin Cash is one of the best managers in all of baseball. Austin Meadows has become a superstar out of nowhere. He's just slugging and slugging and slugging. Do I think they'll regress? Yes, I still think they're going to hold through. They have a better bullpen at the end of the day.
So
That's
you
what
think they're going
controls
to be a
this
wild
league.
card team?
Yeah, I think they'll probably be the number one wild card because there's no one in the West that really fears me. Look, you got the Athletics. You know what I mean?
So you think it'll be 3 in the AL East?
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever you order it.
I think the Red Sox are barely going to get one of these wild cards with the rate they're going. I think there is a chance, but they need a turnaround, and I don't know what that is. Someone needs to
That
jump out.
one card wild card game scares me. Scares me.
I don't feel good about this team in a one card in a one game
It
wild
just
card.
takes one little mistake,
What's their biggest
one
issue?
error.
They start slow.
Yeah, start slow.
You don't have games to fix that, you know?
Again, one game elimination. You got Nunez bull crapping at second base. I don't know. I
think Nunez's days are about done.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't think he makes it out of this month.
I would have cut him right there. DFA.
The thing is, Marco Hernandez still needs time, right? But once these injuries wrap up, there's no need for him on this team.
I'll take Pedroia in his one leg.
Honestly, you're not wrong. But once Steve Pearce comes back, right?
Yep.
Which he did go on the DL.
Yep, him and Moreland.
Oh, poor Mitch Moreland. But once everyone's healthy and back on this team, you have Michael Chavis as a starter, Brock Holt's your backup.
Holt's been fine.
And if you're looking, you're like, oh, well, Eduardo Nunez is a right-handed bat off the bench. You know who is that? That's Steve Pearce. And Pearce has come back to life. He was hitting the ball well before he went down. So, I don't know. I'm not buying into it. I think Nunez is gone. And the second base, getting thrown out at second base like he did 2 games ago.
So bad.
That's it. That was it.
Sanchez gunned him, though.
I couldn't believe. Look, I was like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Like, come on, Eduardo Nunez. And it's like, he saw Gary Sanchez throw. He's like, oh. He like thought about it. He's like,
he hesitated.
He's
like, he's not going to throw
Then
it down.
He calls it a rookie mistake.
Yeah.
Eduardo Nunez. You know how long you've been in the MLB?
Yeah.
Most people don't even realize you played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
People don't even notice that. Oh, it's a joke.
Sanchez gunned him, man. He had. Oh, I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Like, you kidding me?
Let's take a break here. Before I break down.
I'm going to buy Dylan Saraiva a Nunez jersey.
For anyone that wants to see a great picture, go look. Is it on Dylan's social media?
Oh,
where
my gosh,
he
yes.
put his arm around Devers?
Yes, and he refused the Nunez, and he put the middle finger up.
Shout out Dylan Saraiva. Great man right there. When we come back, we're going to talk about the new netting issue in the MLB, some MLB draft stuff, and our predictions for Keuchel and Kimbrel. So you're not going to want to go anywhere, and we'll catch you on a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
All right, Pombo and Milliken, we're back. So, Jason, Dallas Keuchel, you've already given your prediction, basically.
Going with the Yankees.
Yep. When do you think he signs? You think he signs today?
Probably tomorrow.
I agree.
Tomorrow.
So, Kimbrel. Where does Craig Kimbrel go?
I
agree with you. I do think Keuchel's going to the Yankees.
Tampa Bay is an option. I think Atlanta is an option, like you mentioned previously. And Buster only just tweeted some stuff.
I'll pull it up.
You want to pull it up?
Yeah, I got you.
Minnesota is listed. The Phillies are also listed.
Yeah, Minnesota. I feel like the Phillies could be a good spot. I think whenever team goes for Kimbrel, has to realize he requires a certain status in a bullpen. You know what I mean? You're not going to get this guy and slot him into the 8th inning just to slot him into the 8th inning. Like, you're going to have to give him a pretty dominant role if there's going to be issues. That's why I think Atlanta has the most wide open bullpen right now for a competitive team like they are. And if they get Kimbrel, I think it puts them right where they want to be. Kimbrel will soar back in Atlanta. That's when he was his best. He joins a young, competitive team. I think it'll be for probably 2-3 years. It probably won't be the money he wanted, but it'll be enough. I can't imagine the Phillies. They have a lot of names in that bullpen right now, and Kimbrel's definitely going to be at the top.
Yeah.
You know?
So my take on that, you get a guy like Craig Kimbrel. Obviously, we know what he can do. Dominant closer. Obviously, he's been out since last year, so curious if he's going to be a little rusty, but I don't think he's going to have to deal with that as a closer. I'd be more concerned about Keuchel from the start.
How long do you think it will take for both of them? Because
Kimbrel should be able to get it right away, right?
They have both said that they'll be ready within a couple days. They've both been pitching.
I believe Kimbrel will be ready and effective. Not sure about Keuchel. Might take him a little bit.
Yeah.
A few starts. Rusty, it's different from being out for legitimately 2 or 3 months.
Scott Boras said 1 week for Dallas Keuchel. I don't agree with that.
No.
It's gonna, and I don't care if he's been throwing single stars.
He'll end up being fine, but it's just going to take a little bit.
I think honestly
2 or 3 starts.
I think he'll be up in 2 weeks, and I think he's going to struggle. There hasn't been a player yet who's waited out and had a good season.
Yeah.
Kendry Morales way back, awful. Steven Drew, he hit 182 that year. I'm pretty sure.
He's bad.
There's a third name that I'm blanking on. But every pitch... Oh, no. I don't know. Anybody who's come in and tried to do it, it's just you can't catch up to baseball speed like that. It's impossible. It's a different game.
It's difficult.
But those 2 spots, if they go to the Yankees and the Braves, those teams are going to take another step very quickly.
Yep.
So this week, there was actually a really big conversation taking place within baseball.
Yes.
Alberto Mora Jr., who plays for the Chicago Cubs, hit a line drive foul ball last week, and it struck a little girl right, I believe, in the head.
Yeah, I think in the head, yep.
And he was immediately emotionally...
There was 2 incidents that day, right? Wasn't there another one with the Dodgers?
There might have been.
I think an old guy got hit in the head.
Yeah. Well, people forget someone died last year in the game.
Didn't person fall, right?
No, so they got hit and they had an aneurysm.
That's what it was, yeah.
And she passed away.
Yeah.
And it was really tragic. She was a young lady, like, a mom or something like that, and she just lost her life. And since then, the Dodgers actually offered, they were like, we'll honor her on opening day. The family turned it down. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But now the conversation, so netting has extended to the dugouts. Should it go to the foul poles?
So, from both sides, right? I mean, it'd probably be a good idea.
I think at this point, listen, I am as much of a pay attention to the game guy, get off your phone. I don't know anybody who's not playing professional baseball. If a 150-mile-per-hour line drive is coming for them, they're going to be able to get out of the way. It's
difficult to get out of the way.
You have, unless you're going to make those spots, everyone has to wear a glove and they're all grown people.
Yeah.
You can't do that. There's kids. There's people running around. Another line drive is bound to catch someone at some point.
Is there another way they could use it without a net? Trying to think of other
I don't
potential
think
ways.
so.
Probably not, right?
It's like in hockey when, who would have thought Tyler Milliken making a hockey reference? It took someone getting killed by a hockey puck for them to start making those changes.
Yeah.
I think that's just where baseball is right now. These things,
the nets aren't that bad either.
No, you get used to them pretty quickly, and people want to act, you're taking away people's seats because it was the owners who pushed back against it last time it was talked about. At this point,
because it would take down the value of the seats.
Yeah. Listen, get over it. Would you rather go to the game and know your kid and whoever's next to you is going to be okay?
Or get sued in case the person dies. So.
Because do you remember? Oh, it's been a while. There was a really bad situation at Fenway a couple of years ago. Do you remember that woman? She got struck and she was very intensive care and stuff
that was a while ago.
It might be more than that. I'm going back in my head, but I'm not. Listen.
It's
you just
rare.
give
These
in.
things happen rare. It's not an everyday occurrence, but they happen enough where it's a topic.
I flinch every single time I see someone just smash one of those liners because you got to think a lot of those seats, they're always filled.
Usually, yeah.
You have a baseball coming that hard, it has to clip someone. It's going to hit someone like that. And this time it was a little girl. What if someone passes away again because of something
it's
like
tough.
that?
Yeah.
That story of that lady dying from the aneurysm didn't even get that much coverage.
Yeah.
Most people don't know about it. I think this is what's going to be what changes it. I think they're going to extend it to the foul poles pretty soon.
They might. I think it might take some time, but I think they eventually will.
By the end of the CBA, when it gets
2 years,
renegotiated,
right?
yeah, I think that will at the longest. I think there's a chance they address it at these meetings because these teams, they're taking huge PR hits because of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like there's going to be a net everywhere. You can still see the game. If you want to see it without the net, go sit in the bleachers.
True.
You know what I mean? It's not that hard. It's right there for you. I don't see what the perks are of taking this risk over and over, especially with the baseball and how it's continuing to change. I don't know. I think the conversation about the baseball is actually starting to get pretty fascinating too.
Yeah, that too.
Do you believe that the baseball is different?
They might be.
I 100% believe.
I think I tend to agree with you.
Joe Madden, everyone was scared he was going to get fined because he came out and said it. He was the first manager who was like, something's wrong with these baseballs. The Red Sox or MLB is going to break their home run record once again.
Shatter
this year.
it for that third consecutive year or fourth, right?
Yeah, something like that. And right now, they have hit the most homers ever in May, I believe.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so they're at this point where the ball's just flying out. They've moved the baseballs down to AAA, and they have broken the records for each month.
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing, the ball's just flying out. Listen, I get it.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't either. I think you need home runs. Baseball, what's the saying? Chicks dig the long ball?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? There you go. Fans dig the long ball. It's all people. Who doesn't want to see someone hit a ball?
Yeah, home runs, they generate stars.
It's like strikeouts.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, if you go 3 for 4 with 3 singles, or you go 3 for 4 with 3 home runs, a grand slam,
yeah.
what generates more attention?
You can see it on the Red Sox. Look at Michael Chavis. Probably 10 years ago, with his kind of game, he really wouldn't be that good of a baseball player. It's the truth. He's a home run guy. It's bat speed. The ball jumps off. Now you look at him, he's probably going to hit 250, 260 for his career. But he's going to hit 30 home runs, and that will make him a viable second
And he'll
baseman.
get paid quite a bit.
Yes, exactly. He's going to be a good player. Back then, there's a lot of athletes. One example people are talking about right now, Josh Ockamy. I don't know if you know him. He's a Red Sox first baseman in the minors. That alone, they talked about when he was in the lower levels, he would hit the ball a certain way, and they believed it would pick up with the different baseballs. He's having his best season ever down in AAA for the Paw Sox right now.
Yeah, that certainly could be the reason why things have totally changed the last 3 or 4 years. It's not just this year, because, again, the record has been extended for the last 3 or 4 years.
You got to think. So do you think teams will start drafting based on stuff like that?
They might. I mean, that's definitely a good philosophy. They might.
I don't know.
Based off power.
It's a weird situation. The reason I know only AAA at the moment has those Major League Baseballs is because it's for the old AAA baseballs, it was 50 cents for one. Now it's $1 for the Major League ones. So it's not cheap. You're doubling it, I don't know. I think the MLB has to come out and say something soon, because if they don't, it's just going to get weirder and weirder. You look stupid at this point. How can you deny it? You know? This is a totally different game than it was 5 years ago. But besides that, MLB draft tonight.
Yep.
I know everyone's through the roof.
There's like 3 people excited.
Yeah.
And one of them is in this room.
Yay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben
So they have
Brophy.
their draft in the middle of the season?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Baseball. It's very different.
Tyler, I'm sorry. That's stupid. Why do you have in the middle of the season?
Well, why do you have it in the middle of the season, you say?
Yeah.
No, the truth is it's right after the college baseball season. So
Yeah, I guess it's fresh.
Unless you play in the College World Series, there's guys who have continued to play.
I just look at it, and shouldn't your scouts be focused on generating, worrying about the trade deadline and stuff?
No, the way the MLB's lined up, you have guys, it's all different positions. There's the scouts. You have your MLB scouts who go and check out the MLB guys, and then in the minors.
Dombrowski's worried about who's going to pick in the 16th round instead of finding a reliever.
That's the thing.
Is that what you're telling me, Tyler?
Dombrowski doesn't know anybody past the first or second round. That's the truth. Everything besides that is on the farming director. They will pick the guys. They'll go through. He doesn't know who to pick in the 25th round, you know what I mean? In all reality tonight, it could be a number of guys. The Red Sox, for people who don't know, don't have a pick until 43rd overall. And Ben Brophy.
Why would I care?
Why would you care? Well,
fine. I'm a NASCAR fan. I get it.
Before realizing that it'll probably be 3 to 4 years before most of these guys are even a name. Most of them won't even make the MLB.
There you go.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. 43rd overall. They got pushed 10 spots back because they went over the second tier of the tax threshold. So now 43rd, they have 2 picks in the second round, 43rd overall and 69th overall, I believe. And then after that, it will be every 30 picks or whatever.
So who do you think they're looking at that slot?
The 2 names I've heard the most are Matt Cronin, who's the closer over at Arkansas, Andrew Benintendi's alma mater. He very similar. He's considered the Durbin Feltman of this draft for people who know him. Bullpen piece, it won't even be a conversation. He'll never be a starter in the MLB. But he could come in and help the team a lot faster than most prospects. I believe Brandon Finnegan, if that was his name, remember the Royals? He came up the year he was drafted and pitched in their World Series run.
Yes.
He was electric. People said Durbin Feltman last year could have done it. He didn't make it up, and he's close. He's already at AA. But, there was a time when it was a conversation. If they're going to go that way, they can handle it. The issue is with the Red Sox right now, they don't have to pay a first-rounder out of their pool, but their pool is not huge. It's a very kind of average pool. So they're probably going to sign a lot of senior guys early and look to get the high school guys, the Nick Northcutts that dominated in the draft last year and kind of gave this farm system life again. They'll be spending money on a lot of high schools later. So
it's not a set value.
For the Red Sox, it is. They do have a set value. I believe it's 3.5.
Okay.
Which is pretty not great. The other name a lot of people are talking about, Isaiah Campbell. He's also at Arkansas. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's been one of the best pitchers in the SEC this year as a redshirt junior. He's a 6'4", 225. A little heavy, you could tell he has a little bit of that Josh Beckett body type, but he has a low to mid-90s fastball that can jump up in big moments with an above-average slider and a kind of average splitter that's still developing.
So you think they're going pitching?
Most likely. I think they're going to aim for pitching just because you look at in recent years, Tanner Howick is okay. Jay Groom is still not bad from Tommy John and his achievement.
Trey Ball.
Yeah, exactly. They need arms because there's none in the upper minor. So if they're going to replenish, I think they do it that way. I just think Cronin's probably a slightly better fit because if you draft a straight up reliever like that, you'll get it under slot. And you save that money for the Jagger Rusconis, the Brandon Howlett, one of those kind of guys
So
later in the draft.
I see what you're saying.
It's not a science. The way the MLB draft is, everyone has different guys on their radar. With that pool that big, they draft community college kids every single year. There's a chance anybody could end up somewhere. But if I'm the Red Sox, I wouldn't get too excited. There'll be those two picks tonight. They do the first round and the second round along with the competitive balance round. So get hyped. MLB Network. There'll probably be like 4 players there in the room. Have you ever seen the MLB draft room?
Yeah, I have. I watched it the year they did Trey Ball.
Yeah, it's very...
and I watched a little bit last year. Yeah.
It's always whatever. It's nothing special. It's fun. It's more in-depth than a lot of the other drafts.
Don't think I'll be tuning in this year.
Can't blame you.
Is there anything like a lot more, like any players that really stick out this year at all, or... Is it like a heavy draft in any position? Or
So in our reality, it's more of a hitter-based draft. There's not a lot of pitchers. They believe the first 6 picks are all going to be hitters. The really only not life-changing, very important conversation around a prospect is Donnie Rutschman, who's the catcher out of, Ben, almost lost your microphone. He's a catcher out of Oregon. Very great. Some people have compared him to Bryce Harper in terms of status. No. There's a reason the Orioles haven't even decided if they're going to draft him first overall. It's still up in the air. But 5-tool catcher. Can hit, field, do it all. He'll be a good catcher one day.
All right.
Bobby Witt Jr. will be the second overall pick. Not even a conversation. People know that already. Royals, it doesn't matter if the catcher falls. They don't care. He's basically
what do you mean they don't care?
They don't care. Bobby Witt Jr. is their guy.
Oh, okay.
they are just sold on
they're
this
locked
kid.
in. Okay.
Yeah. High school shortstop. We talked about him slightly earlier. His heroes are Dustin Pedroia and Derek Jeter. What a pretty weird combination.
All right, I like him. I like this guy. All right.
But speedy, typical middle infielder. Big hit tool. That's the only difference. That's why people like him.
Okay, and I know you can't trade picks.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. There's so nothing will be moving too crazy.
Yeah.
No
development. You can't trade draft picks.
No.
So if I'm the Red Sox sitting there at 44, I'm like, I like this guy who's going to get picked 30th. I'm going to trade up. I can't.
Nope. That's not how it works. You just take
They're going to change that in the CBA, man. Have they?
I think they're just scared of how it's going to impact trades in the MLB.
What, generate actually interest in it?
Yeah, seriously.
Maybe.
This CBA
it's rough.
seems like the most restricting of any American sport.
Yeah.
They're stuck in their old
there's a lot of money generated. Like
for sure.
Trout
MLB is still a huge... they made the most money they've ever made in terms of revenue
I get
last
that.
year.
But if you want to generate interest to the draft, you got to make draft picks.
100%. You need to make the event not in the MLB Network studio.
If you're telling me the Red Sox trade up from 44 to 13 to get this stud catcher, then
People
you got my
freak out.
attention.
I don't know why they wouldn't have it either right before spring training to lead into the season or right after the World Series to end the season off.
The reason it's a very weird situation for trading like that is because every team, either when they draft guys, right, it's all about slot. So if they get the slot, what they're, each pick in the draft has an amount of money that is an average for that spot. The way they handle it, it's all based off the draft pool money. So it's a lot different. So you can have not enough money to sign guys. Every single year, you probably don't know, Ben, because, obviously not super into the MLB draft. The Red Sox have drafted Alex Bregman, who's the star on the Astros. Carson Fulmer, who's the top prospect with the White Sox. A lot of the stars, you get drafted multiple times in the MLB. But a lot of the high school kids later in the draft, they just choose to go to college. Tonight, what's his name? Nick Quintana. A lot of people don't remember him. I believe he was 11th round selection a couple years ago. He's up for the second round tonight, and the Red Sox may redraft him.
Wow.
But if you have the money, you can do it. But you target that money towards certain guys, and then other guys you just miss out.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If I get drafted by the Rockies, all right, let's say I'm a high school senior, and the Rockies are like, hey, I want to pick you 8th overall.
Yep.
And I'm actually like, no, I want to go play for the University of Alabama.
Yeah, you're good.
So you're not their property. Or
no, you're not. Nope, you have to sign the deal. If you don't, Brady Aiken a couple years ago was the first overall pick, and he didn't sign. He said, "Screw y'all, screw the Astros." His career.
So what happened? All right, so
wow.
Do the GMs and stuff? I know you get a comp pick.
Yeah.
Do you think they ask ahead of time and they're like, "Would you be willing to sign here?"
No, I don't.
So you just gotta have to. You gotta hope. You gotta hope.
Look at the Kyler Murray situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Last year he was drafted 10th overall in the MLB draft, and he signed, and he's still not there.
He wasn't supposed to go completely top 10, was he? Didn't Billy Bean kind of reach?
A little bit, yeah.
So you can completely lose a pick.
Yeah, and then you got to pick the next year. So part of the reason the Red Sox were pushed back, you say, well, how did they have the 33rd overall pick? There's not 33 teams in the MLB. There's a comp pick.
Yeah.
In the late 20s.
The NFL has something similar to that. Yeah.
So, you get pushed back. It is what it is. But the MLB draft, it has a lot of problems. The only thing you can trade right now is international pool money.
I know you can trade money, which is kind of...
Yeah. But you can't even trade your draft pool money.
Yeah, international
That's so
money.
stupid.
You got to change that.
You can't even... Even if they were like, all right, we don't want people trading up. If you're like, well, let me take more money so I can draft the guy I want here or a high schooler. Okay, that's at least interesting.
Aside from generating interest, it would make sense.
Yeah.
If I'm the Red Sox sitting there at 44, I like this kid who's going to go in the 30s. I want to trade up for him.
And now the MLB draft for the first time is turning into like the NFL where picks are important. Before, no one cared about MLB or picks in the draft. Now it's a young man's game, so everyone cares about picks. The reason you see... Look at how many people are mad that Craig Kimbrell not signed before. The Red Sox lost out on a 4th round pick.
Yeah, the reason Kimbrell Keuchel aren't signed is for a stupid pick.
Yeah, that's it. And,
that seems a little much in my opinion. But
I agree, but that's how people look at it. They're like, can I get Keuchel for a couple years? What's wrong, Ben? Oh, we're good? Okay. Everyone's like, can I get Keuchel for a couple years, or do I get a young prospect that I could have for 7 years?
Exactly.
With minor league service time.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
It's just a pick. What if the guy might end up...
Most of the guys don't. They don't do anything, It's just the MLB mindset. Reboot the farm system.
I get it. I understand it, but I think there's a time where you're just like going all in here.
No, 100% agree. Look at the Orioles.
Balance.
They have the first overall pick, but after that, they're just like any other team in the draft. You know what I mean? They have a little bit more money than everybody, but they're not going to do anything impressive. They can't push back in the draft and get a bunch of picks. An organization like that with no farm system should do that, but they can't. It's just not allowed. All right, should we take a break here?
Yep,
we'll come back. We got some NFL stuff coming, and then we got some questions.
And some hockey.
From Ben Brophy. You're not going to want to go anywhere.
Let's go. Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Nothing satisfies, but I'm getting closer to the...
All right, Pombo and Milliken back. We got 30 more minutes till we're out at 3.
Yes, exactly.
Almost done, boys. Okay, so to the NFL stuff. Ben Watson, who we were celebrating 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
He'll be suspended 4 games.
Yes. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'll give you 2 reasons why.
Go ahead.
1, the Patriots knew he would be suspended 4 games when they signed him. Well, they knew he failed a drug test.
Yeah.
So they assumed he'd be out for the first 4 games. 2, he might be fresher by the end of the season.
Yes, especially as an older tight end.
Yes, 38 years old.
What people got to realize, this isn't him being irresponsible. He truly thought he was done playing.
He was done.
And, like a lot of athletes, once you're out, you go and start taking whatever you want to get those muscles jacked. And he did. And, he decided to come back.
Got to get the beach bod ready.
Yes. So I don't blame him. if anything, I think this means Austin Safarian-Jenkins has a better chance of making the team.
Yes.
You know, that whole tight end chart, including your boy, Matt, what's his name?
No, Matt Lacoste is
there
not
we
my
go.
boy.
Yeah, he is
No,
your
I like
boy.
Steven Anderson. He's the guy to
don't
keep an eye
switch
on.
up on. Don't switch
I've
up
always
on
been
Matt Lacoste.
no.
No.
Matt Lacoste sucks.
Oh, do you remember you were talking
Yes,
about
he's
his Bronco
lacrosse.
highlights? Your boy Matt Lacoste.
He sucks. You signed him because his last name is Lacrosse.
Hey man, do your thing, bro. Don't hate on him. Listen, but yeah, nothing huge here. Just he'll stay fresh. It's probably pay off long term. Gerald McCoy, who everyone's been talking about the past 2 weeks, went on 3 visits. He went and visited the Panthers, the Ravens, and the Browns.
Yep.
Was 6-time Pro Bowler, released by the Buccaneers as they kind of regroove their entire franchise. Rumors are it seems like it's down to the Ravens and Browns more than anything, but he has just followed some Carolina Panthers on Instagram.
Yes. Is that what the new report is?
Yes,
Oh,
he
boy.
followed Christian McCaffrey and someone
What
else.
if he's just friends with them?
That's what I'm
Think of
saying.
that, yeah.
It could be anything in the NFL, so that's why the conversation's up. You have him going to the Browns, right?
I
Jack?
do. I think he's going to Cleveland.
How come?
I think Cleveland's going to overpay to get him. I think he's going to fit well in that defense. Cleveland has the money.
Him and Garrett, jeez.
Yeah, so I think he's going to go there. I think Baltimore's making a real good case for him, but I think ultimately he's going to pick Cleveland over Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going to go Baltimore. It seems like that visit went almost perfect. He went on actually a really special day. Haloti Ngata was getting everything retired and going. He came and actually spoke with McCoy and tried to get him here, and he said it went well. I don't think it's anything set in stone, but I think Baltimore, he joins that defense. That is going to be one of the best defenses in the entire NFL.
They lost some pieces. Obviously, they lost Mosley to the Jets.
Terrell Suggs
to the Cardinals. So they're going to have to rebuild that somehow.
Yeah, Weddle,
2 of the Rams.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I think McCoy might be a little bit of a better fit there, but it's hard to turn down the Browns right now. They're the most talked about team in the NFL. So looking at this Patriots team right now, we're pretty far deep into the offseason. You know, training camp's not too far out.
Offseason's basically over.
Yeah, exactly. Is this the deepest Patriots team in the last 5 years?
It might be. Greg Bedard of the Boston Sports Journal said it was deepest since the 2014 Patriots team.
With these draft picks?
Yeah, I mean, they are deep at linebacker. They're deep at running back. If things go accordingly, they're going to be deep at cornerback, deep at safety. I got to see it all play out in the field first, but it could be.
Yeah, they have this great mixture right now of veterans and young players that's very rare to find.
They're going to have to cut some guys that they probably not want to cut.
I think like Demaryius Thomas, I think he might be one of those. It seems like his recovery's starting to get pushed back more and more deeper. So
he could be the odd man out.
Yeah. I think right now for this Patriots team, though, how can you not be excited about this season? Coming off what they did last year, this roster is definitely a step ahead. N'Keal Harry's stock jumps through the roof every day. Did you hear that he spoke with the Arizona State coach?
Yep.
And he was like, we couldn't believe he made it this far.
Yeah.
You know?
And there was another report the Patriots had him earlier on the board.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I believe that was the same article.
Probably
So,
was.
yeah. I'm excited for Harry. I think he's going to come in here and be a star immediately.
Me too.
So, in other news, talking Patriots wide receivers, Julian Edelman is going to be getting a documentary on Showtime.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I'm excited for it. I like the Tom versus Time.
Yeah,
I like that one. So I don't know if this one will be similar, but Edelman's got a nice, interesting story. He's a quarterback at Kent State.
He couldn't field punts when he first got to the Patriots.
Played cornerback, played safety, 7th round pick.
Everyone's talking that tackle. You saw the clip of him playing safety. Everyone was going
I
crazy.
remember that.
Oh, without a doubt. They were doing anything to get him on the field.
Yeah.
Because he had the mentality.
Well, and they were just so thin at those positions. So it'll be cool. Edelman's it's a cool story with him. Super Bowl MVP. It'll be good.
Yeah.
The Falcons catch.
Which was the documentary where Tom started crying? Oh, I started crying.
That's an old one.
Yeah, with the long hair.
Yeah, that's a real old one.
I
I'm
started
not sure
crying.
what that's from.
He
Yeah.
was like, I was sitting around on draft day.
It might be the Brady 6.
You're right. That is what it is. And he was like, I thought nobody was going to draft me. And my dad and my mom, the tears start coming.
So Brady was projected to be a 3rd or 4th round pick, and he fell. So.
Yes. Look at him now, the GOAT.
Yes.
Areas of concern for this Patriots team.
Offensive
line.
Tight end. Left tackle is my number one concern.
Are you confident Isaiah Wynn is going to be able to step into
He's
that?
healthy. He hasn't been any OTAs or anything yet.
Which really scares me.
And the kid that I thought would be the starting left tackle, Jared, what's his last name? The kid they signed from the Raiders. He ended up retiring.
No, it wasn't Jared. V was the last name.
Yes.
Valdir.
Valdir, yes. He retired. I thought he would be the starting left tackle. So in the offseason workouts, Joe Tooney's been the starting left tackle.
Yes. And, Tooney, he's moved all around that offensive line. He's been one of those swing kind of guys. And the Patriots drafted a couple offensive linemen in this draft as well. So they have the depth there. We just got to hope, typical Patriots coaching staff, we could whip these boys into shape. They couldn't have a better offensive line coach.
Yes.
But overall, I'm not sweating anything too much on this team. I'm just excited to see them go out on the field.
Me too. I'm excited. It's been a long offseason.
Exactly. Who's the second best team to you in the AFC?
The Colts of Indianapolis.
I 100% agree with you. 100% down. The Colts feel like the next Patriots dynasty. They do. They're building their team just through depth. They're not making any crazy moves, any outlandish signings. I think Andrew Luck has been still extremely underrated throughout his career. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in this entire league. I think now he finally has some weapons around him as well.
Yeah, I think Kansas City's going to take a slight step back. You lost some key guys in that defense.
And Tyreek Hill and Kareem Hunt.
Tyreek Hill's going to get suspended. Kareem Hunt's obviously gone. A lot's going to be on Travis Kelce's shoulders. Not sure if he can handle it all.
And we've seen Kelce struggle with injuries at times.
And in terms of quarterbacks, in their second year, they often struggle or they often take a slight downgrade per se. So I think the Chiefs could take a little bit of a fall.
Their two best weapons are gone.
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill, what people fell in love with Patrick Mahomes was that huge arm. Yeah. Who was at the end of those catches? Yeah. Tyreek Hill.
Exactly. He was totally a game changer for that team. Absolutely.
Him and Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was the best running back through the first 6 weeks of the NFL last year.
So, and the Colts are the second best team. Mm-hmm. I'm not buying Houston yet. I'm not buying Bill O'Brien. Still not sure on Deshaun Watson.
That offensive line still needs help.
Cleveland's not ready, in my opinion. Pittsburgh, I think they're going to be good, but they're not the second best team in the AFC.
I think they're just going to lack explosiveness.
Baltimore, I don't trust Lamar Jackson in big spots.
He can't throw. Simple. Sorry, Matt Burnett. He can't throw the football. Still can't. He didn't even. Oh, you heard about that offensive game plan story that came out?
Yes.
Oh, he thought they were running the same thing last year. Yeah. You crazy?
He's like, yeah, we run it back, right? And they're like, no. You sucked.
Yeah, try again, dude. You couldn't complete a simple throw.
And then the Jets, obviously a dumpster right now in terms. They don't have a GM.
No. I think they're going to be a lot better than people expect.
I think they'll be about a 500 team.
Yeah, same here, 100%.
I'm trying to think who else.
Colts are
a lot of people are telling me to keep an eye on Cincinnati.
Nah.
In that division.
I think all you got to say about that is they wanted to visit with Gerald McCoy, and he said no.
Yeah,
there you go.
Could be right. The Chargers, I am not a believer in them. I thought last year was the year, and they couldn't do it. So
agreed.
In Denver, no Flacco.
Oh, look at this. We got a text from Matt Burnett.
What did he say to you?
Wow. Matt Burnett live from Newark, California. We miss you, Bernie. We do. Turning over, I know you're upset about your way to call me out. I know you're upset about your San Jose Sharks, but we got Ben Brophy with his hockey minute here.
Yes,
absolutely.
Go ahead, Pombo.
My favorite part about the hockey minute is that I don't have to talk about the San Jose Sharks. Because somebody who was a Bruins fan,
Burnett, hopped off the bandwagon and flew across the country. Matt Burnett, you're a joke.
Wrong season, Burnett. Wrong season.
The Shark Tank.
But yeah, Bruins up 2-1 now, right?
They are. They're up 2-1.
Dude, that last game, I couldn't believe it. I didn't get a chance to watch it, as the game progressed. But I tuned in here and there, watched all the highlights. 7-2, the Stanley Cup final.
I want to get your from game one. I know this is a little bit far away. You see the Krug hit, bro?
That was ridiculous. Oh my God, ridiculous.
He was on a tear. His helmet got knocked off, and he goes, nah.
Because they were tangling on the other side of the ice, right? Yeah.
He skates across the ice, lays him out. That's the picture from the series. It set the tone for the series. The Blues are a hard-hitting team. They're kind of like the Bruins were in 2011. They're just, I'd say they're a little bit more dirty with it, which, whatever. It is what it is. The Bruins have shown that time and time again, they can come in and, with the exception of game 2, they can come in, and as long, it doesn't matter where it is, home or away, if they can come in and just do their job, the Patriot way, if they can just stay in position, and if they can have their top line score a goal a night even, just a goal a night, then they're good. And obviously, something happened in St. Louis. They went on a tear.
Yeah.
So, did you guys see the fans? They were brawling there. Yeah. Dude, I couldn't believe it.
St. Louis, man.
The Bruins are quicker than the Blues. They skate faster. Tuukka Rask awesome.
I saw that picture.
He's no other goalie has kept his save percentage above 900 for this many games in the playoffs.
He's awesome.
He is. This is unprecedented. Breaking records.
Very similar to where Tim Thomas was in 2011.
Absolutely.
Oh, Burnett, I hate y'all. We hate you too. Just
Miss
kidding,
you, brother.
Brody. We miss you, bro. I had a question. I can't. Oh, did you see the picture of the last Bruins championship team with the
2011?
remaining players?
Yeah, there
wasn't-
game 1 they were captains or whatever it was.
They had it was, but the picture in the locker room and everything
Oh,
that took
yeah, yeah,
place.
yeah.
I thought that
Oh,
was so
man.
weird. It was so crazy just to see.
Well, I couldn't believe it. Basically, everyone.
There's a lot of guys still left.
I mean, Rask was technically on that.
He was right in the middle. Yeah, he was right
Yeah.
in the middle of the photo.
He
So you
was
got
the
Rask.
backup,
yeah.
You've got Bergeron, Krejci,
Chara,
Chara.
of course. I think that's about it.
I mean,
Marchand,
yeah, Margie, and then defenseman. Pretty. I guess.
they're all young.
No,
so
Krug
that's-
was the next year.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that throwback.
Absolutely.
In Boston, hopefully we keep just winning.
Oh, also, Torrey Krug is the young. I think the player that's been in Boston the longest, that is currently still playing, that hasn't won a championship.
wow.
Till now.
We'll see.
How pathetic.
I'm gonna go, I think the Bruins win this in 5.
5?
You think in 5?
I think they
go
win the
6.
next 2.
I'd be surprised if they didn't win it in 6. I think the Blues would take one more game. It could be tonight, but they could surprise us
Everyone
at home.
says today's a trap game.
Oh, it's a trap game for the Bruins.
That's what- yeah.
Absolutely. So if the Bruins go down on this one, I wouldn't be surprised. No, I'd say if they come in and know, hey, it's St. Louis's house, 100%.
Yeah,
they'll
they're
get it.
riding high right now. Obviously, 1-7-2. McAvoy got banged up. Bergeron's banged up. So
Yep. Bergeron took a maintenance day, which for him usually not that rare. I mean, he did play the 2011 playoffs with a punctured lung.
God.
So, I mean, that's hockey for you, dude.
Tyler's playing on a flu day today.
Yeah, Michael Jordan out here. I'm pulling through it. We're okay. I survived. I didn't die yet.
So Bruin, you guys say Bruins 6. I'm going
Yes.
Bruins in 5.
Bruins in 6. Yep.
Okay, we'll get that money out there, Pombo. Get betting.
Let's
I
go.
already took an L.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, come on! You can't
wanna
just
talk
leave us
about
hanging.
I'll explain. So I bet all right. So it all started
The
when
tears are going down his face right
I
now.
bet on the Bruins to win game 1. Right. I bet the Bruins to win and win in the over. They won, so they won me They won me a decent amount of money. I won $80.
Good call.
I was like, all right, nice.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna take $20 of this and parlay it, which means
Yeah.
I bet on the Bruins to win game 2, the Red Sox to win the night they blew it against.
You got screwed like this before, didn't
Yes.
you? Yeah.
When the Red Sox let 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th, yeah.
Oh, man.
And then the third team was the Golden State. All 3 of them freaking lost. Like you need all 3 of them to win. All 3 of them freaking lost. I was so pissed.
Oh my gosh.
I was pissed.
So if you want to do any sport bets, just pick the opposite of what Jason Pombo was playing, and you'll be good to go.
Freaking Red Sox. That's why I
got
was
the
so
worst
pissed
luck.
the Red Sox lost that
You got
game.
the worst.
You really always seem to have the worst luck betting. Like it's.
Well, you know what? The Bruins won in game 1, so that was a W. I took that
Are you
one.
net up?
Oh, no. Absolutely
Is it that
not.
red? That bad?
No. I don't sports bet that much.
That much.
That much. I've probably made 10 in my life, and I'm probably 3-7.
Give it 6 months, and we'll be doing Pombo Milliken live from their local rehab center. Oh, it's okay. Intern Nate will probably be there, so we can all do a show together. I'm sorry.
Oh, my word.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. That was me. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Should we get on to questions? Intern Nate's questions.
All right. Hang on. Wow, unbelievable.
Oh, God. I don't think
I
he's
do not have an
listening.
issue, Tyler.
No.
No.
Not yet.
I'll have an issue if I keep losing.
Oh, God.
All right, first question. You want to be from Intern Nate?
Yeah, let's do it. He earned it. We love you, Nate.
All right, if the Mets go on a fire sale this trade deadline, who besides Peter Alonso would you be okay to build around? Would you keep DeGrom? So what do you think? All right, so I'm going to rephrase this. Do you think the Mets should have a fire sale this July?
Yeah, they don't have a choice. They really tried. They went for the veteran approach. It didn't work. In MLB today, and I was one of the people who thought they were going to have a pretty good
You
season.
thought they'd be a wild card, if I remember right.
I said they were going to just miss the wild
Okay.
card. But I thought actually embarrassed myself more. I thought the Nationals were going to win the NL East and the Phillies would get a wild card.
Looking back, the rotation was supposed to be good.
Yeah, it's just rough. That bullpen's horrendous. But with the Mets right now, I keep it Met Rosario. It's been extremely impressive to watch how good he's been offensively, despite the defensive struggles he's had. I still think he's a good major league piece. Besides that, Jeff McNeil, JD Davis, a lot of those guys, I don't think you ship those out too far. I think they could be a solid piece for you, even in a stopgap year or two. Besides that, everything's gone. Noah Syndergaard, ship him out. Zach Wheeler's shown flashes.
Ship out Syndergaard, huh?
Yeah, not even a question. I think you try to trade him to the Astros. The Astros have shown they want stars at the deadline. Remember, they almost made a deal for Bryce Harper.
They got Verlander to the deadline 2 years ago.
Exactly. I think they're going to go grab Noah Syndergaard. They have guys coming up whose contract, Garrett Cole's coming to an end. So why not go and get another arm, at least that has a little bit of control.
All right.
And even in the bullpen as well. I sell off all the bullpen pieces.
We'll take one more question from Nate here.
Let's go.
What is your World Series prediction?
Right now?
I'm gonna stick with mine now. I'm gonna go. I had Houston, Chicago, and I'm gonna stick with it.
I'm gonna stick to my pick because I have too much pride.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Red Sox, Cubs, but if I could switch that out with a team, I'd make it probably Houston, Cubs.
Yeah. So I had Houston over New York in the ALCS, and then I believe I had the Cubs over the Dodgers in the NLCS.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what you got. All right. Next question is going to be from the new California native, Matthew Burnett.
Hi, Bernie.
Bernie the Kid. A question from Matt Burnett. What should the Red Sox do at second base? Brock Holt isn't the full-time answer to that position. I think we both agree Michael Chavis is the full-time answer.
Yeah, the only reason he's getting as many reps at first base right now is because Mitch Moreland and Steve Pearce are both on the DL. Once they come back, they'll handle the platoon. You can move Chavis back to second, where he's been pretty solid overall.
Yeah, I agree with that. Chavis has shown time and time again that he certainly is capable of it. Brock Holt is good utility guy. You can play him at second.
Keep him there.
Whatever you want to do. But Brock Holt's been good this year.
And that's why I think Eduardo Nunez's time is coming to an end very quickly.
We're out on Eduardo Nunez. We have been for a long time.
We didn't even want the extension when he signed it. You remember that?
I mean, it was for no money, though. It was like
$7 million?
Stupid like
that. Sound right? Maybe it might have been more.
It wasn't that.
I think it was 2 years, $7 million.
Yeah, maybe something
like that.
That's chump change in MLB.
Yeah, that's true.
That's nothing.
Still, coming off people were so hyped because remember back in 2017 how important he was. He gave us the burst. That was
he did, but then remember he run it down the first baseline.
Knee just completely gone. Couldn't even run. They had rehabbed him for a whole.
They had to carry him off the field. Remember?
Oh, they were so like, oh yeah, his knee, he's feeling better. He couldn't even get out of the box.
Oh my gosh, yep, I remember that because he was a vital part of that team.
Oh,
but
without a doubt.
That period of time is over. All right, next question is from Jake here. So his question pertains to Dustin Pedroia, who obviously looking like his career is finished. So do you blame Manny Machado for the reason Pedroia's knee is the way it is, or do you believe it's more just old age?
I 100% blame Manny Machado. That's when the initial knee issues of that nature, of that knee, started happening. It was extremely dirty play at the time. Machado known for sliding in late on guys, which is pretty despicable when you consider the
fact.
He's
done it before.
He's a middle infielder too, so he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
He played shortstop, you know. But when it happened, he did grab Pedroia. I watched the clip the other day, actually. But still, I don't care. Manny Machado's known for being a dirty
You think Pedroia holds a grudge?
Yeah, 100%.
Think Pedroia punches him in the face next time he sees him?
But do you recall when Matt Barnes threw at Manny Machado?
Yes.
Pedroia defended Manny Machado.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yes, I do remember that. That was odd. Why was that?
Because Barnes shouldn't have thrown at him.
He's ruined his life, ruined his career.
But it wasn't for that. It was for something else, wasn't it? If I recall correctly.
It was
a couple years later.
They all were stemming together.
Yes,
though.
they all. The Orioles
because Machado was blaming you, and Pedroia was like, "No, bro, it's not me, it's them."
Oh,
I didn't like. Yeah, that's when people were like, Pedroia,
right.
like, what the hell? I do remember. That's when Pedroia took some heat because everybody was like,
he basically made it look like Matt Barnes was like going against what he thought.
Barnes is trying to protect you here. Like, what do you? I remember that. That was odd.
Yeah, you had the
that
leaders,
was never explained.
No, you had the leader saying one thing, but that was under the John Farrell dysfunction umbrella.
That was odd.
Yeah,
that was really odd. I forgot about that.
I think
that didn't sit right with me.
I think Farrell told him one thing and Pedroia felt a different way.
Might have been, but in that position, I don't blame Barnes.
No, I don't either. But
Machado deserved.
I think Pedroia looked at it honestly as probably just a play. You know how he is as a competitor. I still probably today he's not happy and he doesn't like it, but at the moment he didn't think this was the end.
Yeah, I think looking back, if he could do it all again, I think now
he was still playing.
Yeah, now that he realizes. He's like, crap, I'm done. Like, I have one game tops or whatever I have.
Exactly. Like, this guy really did
This guy really
it.
screwed me. Like, I have nothing left. So I think he certainly holds a grudge. I think Machado owes an apology if he already hasn't given it to him.
He probably never will.
No, he probably never will. But Machado has enough money to buy Pedroia something nice. So probably. Last question is going to be from Jake. Are the Browns a Super Bowl contender this year?
Nope.
I agree.
Much as I like Baker Mayfield and as much as I like Odell Beckham, along with Greedy Williams, all the pieces they've added to that defense, I think they need another year of winning. Freddie Kitchens has never been a head coach before. It's a lot to expect him to get to the Super Bowl.
I don't even think
this
they're
year.
going to win the division.
I don't either. I think it'll be close, but I agree.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a game or two.
Rolling with Pittsburgh on that.
100%.
Who do you think gets into the Super Bowl then?
Well, we already know one spot's taken with the Patriots.
That was going to be my other question. What do you think the Patriots record's going to be
I
this
think
year?
they go 12-4.
Agreed. I'll agree with you.
Better
on
than
that.
last year?
So this is subject to change. I'm going to go a little, I don't know about different. I'm going New England, Chicago.
Really?
Patriot Bears for now.
You think Mitch Trubisky gets some?
I think that defense gets them there, yeah.
I can
And
understand
they were close.
that.
You know,
Well-
if that field goal goes in,
No, you're right.
Who knows?
That is a different entire
That would be-
postseason.
Yeah.
that's who I'm rolling with.
Ooh.
Rematch of 85 or whatever it is.
That'd be interesting for sure.
That interesting.
It'd
Wow.
be a number one defense going off against a number one offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
That's wow.
Well, if you think about it here, I think Sean McVay and the Rams, they're going to be great, but I think psychologically, I think they're going to screw up in the playoffs. Philly, not sure where Carson Wentz's health is. I like Dallas. I don't think Dallas can take that next step. New Orleans, Drew Brees is another year older. If Drew Brees, if that
Drew
does,
Brees wasn't enough.
if
last
that
year.
doesn't, that whole incident doesn't happen to Drew Brees retires last year. He's coming back just to see his career not end like that.
I believe that. I believe that too.
I just don't think Drew Brees has enough in the tank to get them there.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
I think he would have retired last year.
Yeah, no.
So how many people are in the NFC here? How many teams?
No, it's a
Seattle,
No.
step back.
Yeah, they took a step back.
Carolina, Cam
Nope.
Newton, who knows where his
Not
health
even
is.
a
Atlanta,
conversation.
I'm not a believer.
Not the Cowboys.
I'm not a fan of. Well, Dallas is in my consideration, but I think Chicago is a better team.
Yeah.
Let me. What?
I mean-
wow. On the way.
Man.
When you think about
Falcons?
That's my point. I was thinking about it the other day.
You think the Falcons can make another run?
They could. I still go Chicago.
They were under 500 last.
with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones there, maybe they can hop back into it. I think the Rams are still going to be a very
no,
solid team.
I agree, but I think at some point in the playoffs, Sean McVay is going to crap his pants.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I don't.
I'm
Wow.
going
I
Chicago.
actually have a lot of
You know
faith
what?
in him as a coach.
I like him a lot. I wouldn't be surprised
I
if
do
it's a rematch.
too. I don't think Belichick buys into that. I think it is a rematch. I'm going to
think
go
so?
Patriots
Yeah.
Rams
All right.
too. I do. And honestly, I think that could set the Rams on a situation where they could take the next step as the next dynasty in
It
the
could.
NFL.
It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick them, but
I like the
don't know.
Cowboys a lot this year too, though. I'm going to be honest with
you're
you.
not liking the Bears.
I don't believe in Mitchell Trubisky.
That's fair.
I think he's a subpar quarterback.
I think he's.
But they made it with Rex Grossman, so
That's what I'm saying.
you
They
know what I
made
mean.
it- And if that field goal goes in, if Cody Parkey hits that, whatever it was, 40-yarder, it should have been in.
I
don't know
truthfully
where it
believe
goes.
Trubisky can make the throw when the game's on the line.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, and the running back situation there now as well is a little foggy.
Well, they have. So right now they still have Tariq Cohen, of
Yep.
course. Who didn't they add? Someone else. Who else did they add?
Because they moved on from Jordan
yeah.
Howard. Pull it up real quick. I feel like with a quarterback like Trubisky, if you don't have a solidified running game, a true number one back like that, I believe it was a move we didn't like.
Matthew Burnett says Patriots Falcons rematch. So
Wow.
they have Tariq Cohen. That's going to be their back.
Yeah.
So in terms of receivers here, they added Cordero Patterson.
Yep.
That should be interesting.
and I'm not. Nope. Not in another organization. Not for me.
I like what they can do with the coach, though. I think they're going to really mix him around.
Yeah.
Taylor Gabriel, I like him. So it's basically the same. They're bringing back pretty much the same group of guys.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not ready to give that to Mitchell
They added
Trubisky yet.
Ha Clinton Dix at safety.
Yeah. That defense, we know how great that defense is. It's just that offense. I'm still very worried. And they got by without Jordan Howard being that great last year. So
So they're going to lean on Tariq Cohen.
yeah, I'm going to say Rams right now, but I don't think the Cowboys. And surprise, I think Vikings too.
I totally forgot Minnesota, but I'm still Kirk
No.
Cousins. I need to see more.
Okay. Interesting. We'll have our NFL preview.
Yeah, that's not for a long time away.
No.
Who are we going to do it with?
We did it with the Wiggle last year.
Yeah.
You don't have a replacement right now.
I mean, we could do
Intern Nate?
Nate and Clay.
That's not a bad. That sounds actually pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Brof, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Look at that.
at
Future
that.
plans. You're not going to want to go anywhere. Pombo
They've already been set. Sorry, Dylan. Sorry, Matt.
Rip.
All right. Is that wrap up Pombo Milliken?
That wraps it up.
All right, thank you everyone for tuning in today. If you didn't catch it last week, 2 weeks ago, we weren't able to upload the show. It will be uploaded at some point. It's beyond our control right now. It's just some technical difficulties. Ben, do you want to hop on?
Yeah, same thing with this week. Probably we're not going to be able to get this one up, unfortunately. But whenever we have the opportunity, whenever things fix themselves,
we'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be up.
Yeah, but so if you did miss this episode, tune into the Pombo Milliken channel sometime to catch it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be back again next week, and we'll catch you all.
One more before one more.
Jason Pombo.
Is Eduardo Nunez DFA'd by the time the next show happens?
Ooh, 1 week from today?
Yes.
Yes. That's it. All right.
That's it.
Dylan can only
R.I.P.
dream.
Eduardo Nunez. Catch y'all later.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.